Be the right club. Be the right club today.
Johnny, that's better than most.
How about in?
That is better than most. Better than most.
Expect anything different?
I want it.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No Laying Up live show, presented as always by our friends at High Noon. We told you. We told you. We called it, Deej. We called it. We finally got one.
What if he wins the Grand Slam? Is the question we need to be talking about.
I was gonna.
That's what I asked last night.
We got three more of these. Solid, great being with you, my man. A day truly we've been waiting for about 15 years. This is good stuff, man. Great being here.
It's such a weird the level of emotions throughout the course of this day. I was completely convinced he was going to win by 8. I was completely convinced that this is going to be the most devastating live show in our history. It is hard to like bring the complete enthusiasm I have for this moment, for this delivery of this moment, because of how horrible the route was to getting there. Excruciating, painful, like puts a teeny tiny bit of pain in this actual final result. Do you feel any of that in this moment?
Yeah, I mean, I think that makes it even better, though. You know, like that was like that's the most fun way to get there. I think. Well, like it would have been way too syrupy, way too saccharine to go out and he plays super smart golf and it's just his time. He's a more complete player now. Like that would have been no fun. Well, the wedge into 13, I can't wait.
Oh, we're gonna get
the most inexplicable shot I've ever seen, and that's what I'm here for, man. Let's bring in the other chuckleheads.
Well,
here.
we'll get there. They'll have their time. We're gonna have a lot of fun tonight.
Picked him last night, guys.
A lot of the fun is thanks to our friends at High Noon. They've got the all new non-carbonated vodka iced tea made with real vodka, real iced tea, no added sugar. I actually ran out. I've been pounding through these things so hard, especially that back nine. If you're a hard tea lover who hates those sugary malt-based teas, you're going to love the non-carbonated High Noon vodka iced tea. 90 calories. High Noon vodka iced tea is great for any occasion under the sun. Comes in 4 delicious flavors: original, peach, lemon, and raspberry. You can visit highnoonspirits.com to find a pack near you. High Noon, sun's up. And listen, we already had a record number of people watching the live show. People are still filing in here. We got to talk about the Titleist GT280. It's the new mini driver from Titleist. There's a lot of buzz on this one since it appeared on tour. It's finally here. The new Titleist GT280 mini driver. Titleist is the most played driver on the PGA Tour. You've heard us talk a lot about our new GT drivers, but it's an entirely new offering in the Titleist Metalwood lineup with 280cc clubhead and 13 degrees of loft, designed to be longer and more forgiving than a fairway metal. I need that. I need this exact description right here. But easier to control and more workable than the driver. The design process came straight from the tour as our friend JJ and the Titleist team began getting more and more requests from players looking for a go-to option off the tee. They can still be hit off the deck.
Let's say you're trying to win a big tournament. You're really nervous. You don't really have the driver going. This could be a club for you, man.
I need this thing so badly. I don't have one yet, and it's eating me up inside.
The GT280 hits golf shops this coming Friday. You can schedule a fitting now. Go to Titleist.com and find a Titleist fitter near you. TC, how we feeling, bud?
I'm exhausted. I mean, I'm truly from the time that the ball probably should have gone in the water on 11 until
that one doesn't even register anymore.
The rest, it was unbelievable. I've never witnessed anything like that. It was like Van de Velde and the best 4 or 5 Masters I've ever watched. Totally. And like the players when Ricky won, and like all that shit just rolled into one. And DJ, you said it earlier, the shot on 13, I think was probably like just considering the circumstances, he had 50 feet to the left of that pin to work with as a bank. Considering the circumstances, I think that was the worst shot I've ever seen down the stretch in a major championship. And then the shot on 15 was maybe the best shot I've ever seen. And then he hit a great shot into 16. And 17 was a little wishful. I thought that, if you're gonna beg for it to get there like that and it ends up at 2 or 3 feet, it feels a little strange. And then just the wedge on 18 in regulation. Holy shit. It's crazy.
TC,
it's a great day for golf. Great day for the sport, I think.
We've been talking a lot, the tour's been talking a lot about the fan forward initiative. Today almost felt like it was like, hey, we surveyed 50,000 people. And what they really want to see is if you take John Van de Velde, Phil winning his first Masters, Ricky at the Players, like you said, maybe throw in like some Ken Duke. Who else? Who else has got some ideas? Just throw them in. We're gonna put them all on this one guy's back.
Greg Norman 90.
Greg Norman for sure. Little dash of Greg Norman.
Mickelson winning the Masters. What was that? 04, Randy?
04. Yeah.
I mean, just all of it. Just put it in the blender and
that's right.
I've never seen nerves hit someone like that who's such an accomplished player. And I said to you guys after regulation, I was like, man, I can't imagine being Rory and going back out after just all of the blood probably drained from all of his extremities and all of that adrenaline and all those endorphins going for 4 or 5 hours straight. And then everything just almost leaving you when you missed that putt on 18. And for him to step up and hit the drive that he did in the playoff, and it was just crazy. And just no laying up, right? On 15, no laying up.
Right.
He's so, like more high percentage to go after that shot than he does hitting a wedge down there and then wedging on is incredible.
It's I'm gonna give Randy a chance to speak here soon, I promise. But I got a text.
I'm good. I'm all right.
Got a text on the back nine from Hunter Mahan. It said Rory is playing the most mentally tough round of golf I've ever seen. And when I read it, I was like, Hunter, respectfully, that's one of the dumbest things I've ever seen. This is the most mentally midgety round of golf I've ever seen. And he responded, he was like, the golf was bipolar, the mental toughness was off the charts. And like a half an hour later, thinking back on it, it was like, holy shit, he could have just collapsed, and not every time he did something inexplicably dumb. And he did 4 or 5 of the dumbest things I've ever seen done on a golf course from anyone trying to win a golf tournament. He would respond with a 99th percentile golf shot. The shot into 15 and the shot into 17 were absolutely outrageous. And the shot in the playoff, like the wedge in the playoff.
16 too.
And 16.
The shot into 4 early in the round to kind of help swing things. That was really good.
Even low key the putt on 3, like that little downhill left to right slider after you've just kind of gacked up the first 2 holes and you can already feel your lead. Your lead literally has already slipped away, as predicted by the boys last night on the show. Is he going to be leading after number 2? That was the question, I think. And it was that
was the most predictable part, was the first 2 holes, and then everything else happened.
But we've seen him like the Reed year, right, where he goes out and he does something silly at number 1, and it's like, all right, well, I guess it's not my day. I'm just gonna pack it up, and like to Hunter Mahan's point, it's like, no, I guess a lot of golf left, man. We're gonna keep sticking in this thing, and he just kept firing.
I truly don't know. That's too big. The only thing I can compare this to is 2019 Masters, which when Tiger Woods won, we all kind of looked at each other like, dude, how are we gonna do a show? Like, what do you possibly say about this moment? But it is like, I was trying to find the way to bring this all together on Twitter, and it's probably the worst place to do it. But Rory has, I would say, made himself like the most emotionally available of anyone of his generation as far as golfers in terms of
maybe not media availability,
not recent media availability,
recent, yeah,
but just like putting himself out there, 1 for on the course heartbreaks, 2 like over, it's not as much recently, but like giving interviews, like telling people exactly how he feels, like being a part of the golf content sphere. Like he has been that person. He has put all of his heartbreaks on full display. 2011 Masters. Obviously, the Pinehurst U.S. Open. We have LACC U.S. Open. We have just Open Championship open at the old course. Like, it's all been there. Every single year we do the 8 to 9 month lead up of, is Rory going to complete the career Grand Slam? We did that for a fucking decade. And he's got a 6-footer, a 5-footer on 18 to close it, and can't do it. And then he's got to stand over another 4-footer in the playoff to pour it in. That was pretty cold. They did him to put that to win the career Grand Slam up graphic up in the corner. And I mean, the reaction and the emotion, it honestly looked like he was hyperventilating there for a second of just like it weighing on that much. And I know all these guys want to win. I know all these guys have emotions that go up and down, but it has always felt to me like Rory wants this too much. Like he's the one that has one of the most biggest appreciation for history, knows what kind of club he would be in if he would ever win this tournament and complete this. And it's weighed on him. He's tried to pretend like it doesn't. He's taken 58 different approaches to this tournament, tried to downplay the importance of doing it. It's all he ever wanted. It's all this guy ever wanted. And it finally happened today. And it's just totally surreal.
I think you brought up 2019, and that feels like a natural comp, except the difference I'd point out is that 2019 was almost like such a fluke freak thing that I think that's where some of the I don't really even know how to describe this feeling came from. Whereas this, I'm like, man, I've been set up for this party since 2011, really. You know, it's like I'd been waiting for this to happen for a really long time, and I knew what it would look like, and I knew what it, you know, kind of what it would feel like, and I knew what club he would be in, and like this is how it's supposed to go, which is where I'm almost like, yeah, no, I can wrap my head around this. This, like, finally, it's almost like, all right, now the golf world makes a little more sense, you know, rather than it feeling too big.
Just like beforehand, just thinking about like 10 years of majors, not just Masters, 10 years of majors going by without winning.
TC, I looked up a couple things just to put that into context, because we throw it out a lot, you know, like 2014, like that was, of course, his last win. So much stuff's happened since then. That was when the Ice Bucket Challenge was going on. I'm sure you guys remember that. You pointed this one out, Tron. Zach Johnson and Jimmy Walker have won majors more recently than Rory. Ludwig was 14. Big, I threw this one in there for you. 1989, a Taylor Swift album that has existed forever, for all of time, hadn't been released yet. The last time that Rory won a major. Top song in the country was there's another big Randy one, All About That Bass, Meghan Trainor, I believe.
Of course, you don't have to tell me.
It was the same month Guardians of the Galaxy came out, which again was like, oh my god, that movie's been out for like 25 years at least. Like that's how long it's been. It's they've made like fucking 8 of those since the first one came out.
I mean, just think about
welcome to the show,
4 of us. Well, no, think about like No Laying Up. The last time Rory won a major, we had 4 months prior recorded a podcast from Spice Bush with a recorder in the middle of the table. I mean,
some chips and salsa.
Incredible. Yeah, you want to, I mean, I can measure it in our own personal lives and professional journey. It's unbelievable. I think the stat yesterday that Nance threw out that just shocked me, but is it right? He had not held a lead after any major since 2014.
54-hole lead, maybe
it was 54-hole lead. I don't know.
Leading at St. Andrews.
Nance definitely, it was either 54-hole lead or anyway, I don't mean to bog us down, but like it just, some of the stats were like
solo. He was tied with Vic going into the final round at Open Championship.
Okay. Well,
to that,
unbelievable.
To that point, what's crazy about I don't know, you get, again, I keep going back to 2011 almost more than 2014, because that was the first time, and you know, it's become a running bit with us now with all kinds of tournaments. But when someone kicks one away, you hear everybody say like, oh, don't, like, he's gonna get one, like, don't worry, that guy's too talented not to win one of these things. And it's like, yeah, that's probably true, but man, there's a lot of life that's gonna happen in between those two things, and that's what makes it so fun for Rory. Is like, you go back and I don't know, man, it's been a decade and a half of watching this guy, or even more than that, right? Like, since he was 17, 18, 19 years old. And it's just, I don't know, it hits you in the feels for sure, especially seeing how much he cares and how much it meant to him and what a weight off and all that stuff. But
and all the PGA Tour stuff and all the, like, everything he's done over the last 3 or 4 years, good and bad and indifferent. And then I think too that this is by far the most impressive of his major wins, because it came on a firm, spicy golf course.
So spicy today. Holy shit.
Much more so than the last few Masters. And it was a really, like, that was a really, really dry, firm Augusta. We haven't seen that quite to that level in a long time, I don't think. And just primo conditions, and like you had to control your golf ball.
Well, and what I keep coming back to, and I'm sure we'll have a lot of fun with a lot of the very boneheaded mistakes, but it's like
For a long time.
he's playing that golf course while he like probably can't feel his fucking fingers or feet, and it's just like, God, it's just so impressive.
That was the craziest part, was like seeing how in control he was with the full body swings.
Yeah.
Seeing how
The harder the shot, the better off he was. And like,
yes.
Except the driver, which also is like his superpower, which he didn't seem to have either. Which
the driver wasn't that bad though. It was just like
stop hitting it
fractionally off. Then he kept going to 3-wood, and that was not going well. I hated that every single time he did that. But I mean, it was like that's where it felt like, all right, what's going to happen here? Is he going to outrun? Like, is the data going to win out here? Like, or are the odds going to like, keep punching him in the face? Like missing by a yard on 1, missing by a yard on 2. Bryson snapping it off 1 and making par while Rory makes double.
God, you were pissed. You were
like it was just
pissed.
like how long? But it was like over 72 holes is why we always say that. Like, you know, the sustainability models are going to win out, and he tried to wreck it with whatever the fuck happened on 13. That I still like. I have to wonder if that's going to scar him a little bit, honestly. But
Solly, I think for you guys, like on that note, I think there's a certain satisfaction and synergy that you guys and Neil should feel, especially of he won his way, right? He didn't win playing percentages and playing data. He won like swashbuckling and just putting his nuts on the table. And like that's pretty cool.
We said that last night too, of like when you're when you're on 13, need a birdie, you're like, fuck yeah, let's go. And when you just need par, you're like, well shit, how am I gonna do this? Just don't fuck it up. And then 15, all right, I need birdie. I'm gonna snap hook a 7-iron around this tree and hit truly one of the greatest shots in Masters history. Like it almost like you almost are hesitant to go there because the only reason it's one of the greatest shots in Masters history because you fucked up in such a colossal way that it's honestly hard to describe. But yeah, we ended up with some of the greatest Masters moments ever. Again, followed again with one of the almost one of the all-time follies, bogeying 18 with 124 yards in there on 18, but responding with a bird. Holy shit, man! I'm still. It's really hard to do a show like this fresh after this happening. I have never, ever been so anxious watching one single sporting event. That was the most like I'm sitting here like, how is he hitting a golf shot right now? I'm legitimately trembling. I'm so uncomfortable over some of these moments, just knowing if he'd have lost this, it would have been like 85 times worse than Spieth in 2016. Like it would have been truly unrecoverable from.
Yeah. Well, listen, speaking of recovering from things, speaking of coming back, we talked a lot about the end of eras, moving on, things like that. And I think that probably brings us to our ServPro mulligan segment. People are very familiar with this segment. ServPro, the #1 brand in cleanup and restoration, known for making any mess like it never even happened. Let's put that to the test, should we? Yeah. Randy, I want to start with some nice words, and I want to applaud you, please, for truly, and I mean this. It's one of the greatest bits in the history of bits. I don't remember specifically which tournament it was after. Either you guys or any
29 is Port Rush.
Okay, that's right. Port Rush. Rory goes out. He's gripping the steering wheel way too tight. Misses the cut after a little bit of some gases leaving the body there on Friday as he tries to make the cut. And Big Randy declares our guy dead until further notice. In lieu of flowers, please make all donations to Golf Pass. One of the few lines from this.
Subscribe. It was subscribe to Golf Pass. One of the greatest lines in the history of the podcast.
And I believe that
shout out to Martin Hall, all the hitters over there.
I believe the crux of the conversation was he is dead until he wins another major. And so here I will turn the floor over to you.
Yeah, thank you, DJ. Well set up. I've thought about this day, what I want to say. Do I want to, I'm just going to be very sincere. It was a great victory from Rory today in total. I think the emotion that he showed after that winning putt went in, that was very cool. Very, very cool to see. We don't get a lot of that in pro golf, I don't think. And so I want to just say that. Great for him. And I also want to recognize like how popular Rory McIlroy is. It's incredible how many people, since I made that, dumb joke in 2019, DJ, like that. I have gotten more comments. People want to talk about Roy. Like that has been the biggest thing, the biggest talking point between me and our audience over the last now 6 years. And so credit to Rory. I think this round in particular, like you guys so well put it, I mean, it just had everything. Everything you think or anything that anybody thinks about Rory, the person, his golf game, like I feel like you could find that within the 18 holes today plus the playoff. And so I'm a little disappointed. Listen, I'm not going to lie. I'm a little disappointed that the bid is over. It was a hell of a run. All good things come to an end. But it was probably time. And I think for the game at large, the capital G game of capital G golf, Tron, you said it in our Slack, like this was a hell of a day for golf. And again, just recognizing how many diehard Rory McIlroy fans there are out there today. Like, live it up. This is it. This is your Super Bowl. Like, this has to be the happiest day that you've had following professional golf. So it's just wonderful. I don't feel like I have much to apologize for necessarily.
You said he was dead. Of course you got something to apologize.
He was pretty
for.
dead.
Yeah.
I mean, he had 40 majors in a row that he didn't win, guys.
You
Like
called him
that's
dead, and you
yeah.
stomped on his
for
grave after every
generational
major.
talent to
Uh, I mean,
40
even
majors in a
today,
row.
God, he
Yeah.
wanted to give it away. He didn't want to win it, but he did. He did, and that's the bottom line. Congrats to Rory. Kudos to Rory fans everywhere. I don't want to. I'm not going to take away from any of that.
Which,
Yeah,
if, for
truly
those that
great
didn't
match.
watch last night, I said this last night, but Rory, this got to Rory. Like he has heard the bit. He is familiar with the bit of him being dead.
Oh, well,
And
and
he has-
I met him in Branson.
And
He
he's
was-
made the comment. He's like, he said, he's told me I can't wait to win a major and call Randy out from my press conference.
Do you
It has-
remember what else he said?
But it's been so long that I don't know if he's going to remember that. But no, what else did he say?
I remember you and I had coffee with him maybe 6 months after the Rory's dead bit. And I think maybe he'd been listening to the podcast a lot at that point. And Augusta was coming up and he goes, yeah, I can't wait to go like win the Masters. I'll come back on the pod. Big Randy can hold my fucking green jacket after that. And so but I don't know if he remembers that either, but I certainly do. And nothing would make me happier.
Honestly, and I'm game for it, right? I know my role. I know, hey, there are two sides to a bit. And so if he wants to come back, I will stand in the corner and hold his jacket like the best goddamn waiter in the world. I would be happy to
Coat
do
check
that.
Randy.
Yeah, I truly would be. I mean, I've had so much fun at his expense. I hope he realizes like none of it's really personal. But listen, you if you're the most popular, best golfer in the world for that many years, like that comes with the territory. So
Randy,
if he would like to do that, I
sit
would
over
happily,
in the corner.
I would.
I'll sit
happily
over
hold
in
his
the
jacket.
corner, standing next to you, eating a McRib.
Yeah,
Happy
I
to
know.
do that.
And to get attention.
exactly. So I don't know. That'd be funny, but I feel like our relationship's changed a little bit with Rory since all those comments were made. So I don't know.
Who knows? Well, thanks to Big, pure class, as always. Thanks to ServPro, making any mulligan and giving us a chance to make it like it never even happened. Visit servpro.com or call 1-800-SERVPRO today. Solly, where should we go next?
Don't put that on me. I mean, I could do this back and forth for an hour. I honestly think just the emotions of the day. Let me ask you this. Were you more excited for today or more nervous for today? Solly. So
that's a good question.
I was more excited, I think.
No, you guys were nervous as fuck on the
I was
Slack.
nervous. I was very nervous.
Well, yeah,
Bryson, admittedly, I thought it was gonna be Bryson, not Team Rose, but I was very nervous. And then that first hole was like, yeah, no, that's kind of the guy I was picturing. He knows how big this is.
I was more suspicious than I was nervous. It was like, what's it gonna be? What's the catch here? What's it gonna be? And when he got through 12, I was like, and he hit the, laid up off 13. I was kind of like, man, he almost can't screw it up from there. 14, there's no trouble. Probably play 15 like a 3. Like we're kind of dunked it in the water. All right, there it is. Like there is. I would have been reckless if it was not for 2016. Like we've all been. I will never assume anything for any Masters back 9 after what we experienced in 2016. And this, again, like I said, this would have been worse. But I go back to like why I broke my promise of never picking Rory to win the Masters again. Or I think I said when he wins his Masters, I won't be the one to predict it. I go back to like, dude, I've felt for months like we're watching a different golfer. Like we're watching somebody actually evolve, which is really, really, really hard to do for the level of player that Rory is. But to clean up and to become TCU've long accused of being a thrower, not a pitcher.
That died at Pinehurst though. And I said that.
Like he played so well at Pinehurst. He did so many great things at recent majors. And he just kind of fucked up the easy stuff. He did that again today, and it almost cost him dearly.
I was gonna say,
but it made me honestly think. I'm like, dude, the Rory that when you declared him dead, Randy, I was like kind of with you because he was just wandering listlessly around these majors, psyching himself out, playing himself out of the tournament on Thursdays. And just
remember when JP had to tell him like, "Hey, you're Rory fucking McIlroy."
That was Birkdale, 2017.
That was 7 years ago or 8 years ago.
Yeah.
7.5 years ago.
But it honestly just felt different. And it was when he hit the shot in the playoff on 17 at the Players, that was when I fully committed, like, I'm picking him to win the Masters. Like, when needed to, like, he's got the shots now. He really does. And, man, for the 2 doubles on Thursday, bouncing back from that, and the myriad of fuck-ups today, bouncing back from all of that, bouncing back from 40-plus straight major failures, like, it just – you do have to tip your cap at the resilience of this dude. And like, that's like the name of the game when it comes to golf. Like you're going to lose a shit ton more than you're going to win. And, nobody got dunked on harder. I mean, it didn't help that like Bryson, a live guy, beat him at the US Open with like all the live stands, like just adding fuel to the fire that already hated Rory, just, made memes out of him, crying and all this stuff. Like to bounce back from what he's done. It just kind of felt like how you can't kill me anymore is what it felt like going in. I regret that part of it because this would have been the worst of all of them. But he's evolved, man. He's evolved, and I would be. I'll say this here now. I'd be stunned if this was his last major. I really would. Like monkey off the back situation. Like it's. Yeah. I hate to like put more expectations on him, but you got to go beat Koepka now. I said that last night too. It was like you got to go be the major winner of this generation.
Well, that was the thing. I mean, we were talking about it last night on the pod. It was like. The divergence of if Bryson wins, which almost feels laughable at this point now, sitting here, or if Rory wins, and we said it last night. We're like, oh, dude, like the next manager is at Quail Hollow, and then Oak wants a true toss up, but then like he could do a Grand Slam in a year at Portrush. Like that's crazy.
What do you think about that, Randy?
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
I love it. I
because
am happy
doesn't
for you
seem
guys.
like the rest
I
of
am
them mean
for
as
you
much.
guys.
Now that he's got this one, he's like, cool. Like my trophy case is complete. That was my biggest goal in my career, and now it's like everything else is gravy, right?
It feels like a pretty free roll at this point.
Maybe I declared I made a prediction back in say 2014 that I declared dead. I might have to bring it back. I said Rory's going to get to 10 majors. I'm halfway there. I might have to go buy back into that one and see if what kind of price I can get on that at this point.
You know what? It's got to light a fire under Scotty to put that jacket on him. Like, man, totally. Scotty had his C+ game this week, and he's right there. And I think we're looking at a fucking monster in the making with Ludwig. We'll get there. We'll talk about how it ended and all that. He lit, a house on fire, basically. But down the stretch.
As we're here, I'm just getting word as we're starting to pass out majors. I believe we have a guest who's going to join. This guest has some intro music that was just sent to me. I have not listened to it yet by our guy Charlie Van Kirk, maker, of course, of the famous Big Cans remix. So Cody, if you'll do us the honor.
I want Rory to win so bad. I want Rory to win so bad. I want Rory to win so bad.
Emotional player.
So
I'm the king of shooting 72 in the first round of this golf tournament. I'm the king. 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 I'm the king.
Can see it just by his gait.
So bad.
The land
McIlroy has his masterpiece.
Of course, that couldn't be the intro music of nobody other than our guy, Neil Schuster, who was on the grounds all day following his guy. Neil, how are you? Go off, as the commenters are saying. Your mic's not working.
Moms for KVV.
Mic is not working. That is sick.
God, we hate that.
Still not working.
Still not working.
God, the ultimate heat check here.
You're professional podcasters, folks.
Oh, man.
This is what you get for doing it live.
Yeah.
All right, I switched it to my AirPods.
There we go.
It's been a day, gentlemen. It's been a day. I'm not going to lie. I thought they had it in the first half. Okay. It was tough.
And after the third quarter, and with about 2 minutes left,
I picked them up on 2, and God, the 2, 3, and 4 were unbelievable. Just all the audio you just heard in that song is all stuff I got today. I'm so jacked up. I mean, it was the coolest. There's nothing even in the realm of how cool this sporting event was. I'm gonna take these glasses off so I can see you guys. Truly, I'm standing up there. I couldn't see the putt on 18. So it's all based on audio, and you're just making friends with people. Me and this old lady were crying next to each other when we made the putt in the playoff. Straight up. I had to put my glasses on. I'm crying in the club. I mean, just making friends everywhere, hugging people up on chairs. The security's like, get off the chairs. I mean, it was scenes, Randy, absolute scenes. Everybody on the grounds was around 18. I've never seen so many people. It was unbelievable. And you know what, guys? It happened. I saw every hole but number 1, number 5, and I missed 9 and 10. And he did it exactly how I wanted him to do it. Like a fucking moron. Like I play golf. Like 13, he called the C-suite on 13. I mean, I don't know if I love the layup, but how do you dump a wedge? I was standing right there. Everybody's celebrating. And it was like, oh my God, he just missed it right of that pin. Like, what are you doing? And then he bogeys 14. And then, guys, I'm not kidding. I picked this spot 15 minutes before he showed up. Right there, he picks up a couple pine cones on 15 to throw them away. He whiffs on throwing them. We're standing 20 feet away. I'm standing next to this guy who's been there for 2 hours. He smoked 2 cigars. He's crunk. And the ball, here comes Rory's ball right there. And we saw it up close and personal, the coolest shot of all time, into 15. We all thought that the club looked so lofted. We were like, oh, he's laying up. Everybody thought he was laying up. Like, I'm standing right there left of that pine tree. And I felt like the fucking Pied Piper, DJ. I'm picking up fans like, oh my God. It's like, come on, gang, we're going down to the green. It was unbelievable. Got Poreth, got Porter. I mean, all the boys. We're streaking. We're going to jump in the pond. Bryson's dumping it in there. I don't want to just go shot by shot, but I will if you guys want me to.
Please, do it.
He did
by all means
the hard stuff. The shot into 7 was he's talking to Harry about.
Forgot about that.
Yeah, I'm like, oh my God, what window are you looking at, dude? Don't fucking blow it. Bryson just hit it in the bunker. Don't do something stupid here. And he lipped it out. I heard. I didn't see it, but the roar was incredible on 7. And then, God, the shot of the 17, I'm standing back left of the green. And from what we could just see his hat. And everyone's like, he's got no shot from over there. And I mean, that ball almost fucking went in. If it rolls out, 3 more feet. And then I don't know what happened on 18. Just couldn't see anything. It was
kind of a weird lie with the wedge and just dumped it in the bunker. And then
where were you on 18?
I was behind the green. But kind of the hill kind of rolls back over. So
it's a horrible viewing spot. You can't, if you're not there early, you do not get to watch the final putt.
So then I was able to finagle during the playoff. I finagled in with a nice family. And I think me and maybe the grandmother, I mean, she and I were crying together. I had a lady on my left.
Were you Billy Zanin out there, Neil? Were you Billy
Zanin?
I
mean, it was fantastic. These people were so lovely. This other lady on my left was faking like she was an usher. She was like, down in front, please, down in front. And so we got this perfect view of Rose's putt. And then obviously when Rory, we saw him line up the putt. And I mean, it was just it was an emotional release for 50,000 people. I don't know how many people were there. I've never seen anything like it. Perfect light, perfect day. Everybody's a little sunburned. Everybody's a little tipsy. It was just the coolest sporting event I'll ever go to. This is it, guys. I don't know where to go from here. I really don't. That was the coolest thing I've ever, like, as a group, like, been a part of. You know what I mean? Like,
Neil, what was the, like, take us through when he missed the putt in regulation?
It was really tough, TC, and we're relying on just the groans. It's like, it was kind of like never the I don't know how close the putt was, but the roar never got to like, oh, it was just kind of a groan, like a it kind of sounded like Spieth in the fairway on Friday. So frustrating, you know, just like everybody was pissed, really pissed. And a lot of people thought the playoff would start on 10, so they gave up their spot. And so that's how I was able to finagle a little bit better view.
Bunch of fucking first timers out there.
Seriously, it's been a while since it's been a playoff, Randy.
Yeah, you got that answer on the podcast last night.
I said
heard
bonus
that. Yeah.
golf last night. I said bonus golf. I mean, it was that kind of week, man. It had to be extra holes. God, we got Steiny out there just waiting for Team Rose behind the 18th. I mean, just scenes, TC. It was unbelievable.
What do you think of Team Rose? Were people just like confused by Team Rose?
What do you mean?
Done here? What are they?
Oh,
Team Rose
God,
made
Team Rose.
6.
So, all right. So I have all this audio. We're putting together this narrative pod. I'm so overwhelmed because I think, like,
you're gonna be up all night. It's gonna be sick.
All night. I have so much stuff, but like nobody knows what's going on, especially on that spot on 15 on the left. And so Rory's on 13T. Did he have a 4 or 5 stroke lead on 13T?
He was up 4. He was at 13 under, I think.
And then it's tied up on 14T. I mean, and nobody knows. Like, this news is spreading word of mouth around because there's not really a good scoreboard view up by 15. And you know, you hear this news about the Rose stuff, and I started doing the thing from the Patriot. Kill me before the war is over, will you? You know, just like, here comes Justin Rose, Team Rose, unbelievable. He's the one that's going to cuck us. No, he's not. We can't let that happen. It was unbelievable. Like, me and this guy smoking the stogie. He was like, "Nah, no way, Rose is getting us, man, no way." You know, he just crunk. It was awesome. It was fucking awesome. So anyway, I don't know. Ask me something else. I don't know where to go from here.
Well, Bacon said this on Twitter, which I really liked. Basically just said this is our 86 Masters, which I thought was a really good take.
Yeah.
And it's just like, because what I think is going to be so fun about it is I've rewatched a lot of the Tiger ones and they're very fun, but also like he just hits the fat part of the green a lot and he makes a lot of pars and occasionally he makes birdies where you know he's going to make birdie. This is going to be the best rewatch of any Masters ever. Like it's just gonna be absolutely electric.
I can't wait to rewatch. I saw probably 80% of Rory's shots, and that's about it. I mean, he played. Oh God, how about him getting saved by the last blade of grass on 11? I mean, what a moment! That ball comes trundling down because you can't really see. I'm in the grandstands, and everybody just sees this ball up here. We don't know whose it is, and it hits the hill. And it's like, oh no! Oh my God, is that Bryson? Is that Rory? And then what the fuck was Bryson doing? Is he going at that pin? Like,
Bryson
unbelievable.
He was like missing left again.
Yeah, he was missing left all day, and he was like 5 back at that time, and had to like first fairway hit in a while, and he needed to chip one. Yeah,
let's just call it.
Yeah,
Neil, I will say
then Rory
TC and
he makes bogey, but then that shot into 12, like that's when everybody had a big exhale. Everyone's like starting to celebrate. You know, so I walk up. KVV and I had a date to meet at the phone bank on 13 after Rory teed off. Not at a specific time, but at a specific moment in the round. And we were both there. We watched Rory play a 3-wood. I think he hit 3-wood off that tee. It was like, okay, he's taking the decision. Like, I have no problem with that. And it seemed like he laid up to a pretty good spot. And then it was just like, I mean, truly, guys, like I said to KVV, the analogy I have is he's like the best writer of a generation, but he just can't help typos. Like it's like, dude, you're doing the hard stuff so well. Just
typo is like a slur, though. It's like a career-ending slur that ended up in there.
It's like,
a normal word.
How do you do that?
Like, you know, typically like writers have editors, and he's like, I don't need an editor. I just want to do it myself.
Yeah, no, don't proofread this thing. I'm just gonna just send it to press, baby.
It's like we were all standing there on the rope, and nobody was really paying that close of attention. And I just happened to look up like as he's hitting that wedge because everyone is like, oh, he's up by 4. He's golden. It just fucking dumps in the creek, in the tributary to Rays Creek.
What did you think on going back to like 1 and 2? What do you think on 1?
I didn't see 1. I went because that triangle between 2 fairway, 3 green, and 4 tee is like such a good spot. So I was able to watch pretty much all when he appeared in that bunker on 2 fairway. Actually, TC, I spent the whole day with Felipe from Argentina. was fantastic.
Hell yes.
So he walked up and he's like, I was like, what happened on one? Like I saw the scoreboard. He's like, you made double. I'm like, how? And it was kind of like on and three, like on and three.
This
in
is
three
putt for
putt.
bogey.
And I was like, man, I've started so many rounds like that. Like, just how do you make 6? Well, I hit it on and 3, and then I 3 putted. Like,
Dude,
pretty simple.
He was nervous on the first. He talked a lot. Yes, I went back and watched his presser from yesterday, where he was like, man, I had so much more speed going into yesterday's round. They're asking him like, how are you feeling about
3
the
or 4
66?
miles an hour.
He's like, oh, I had an extra like 3 or 4 miles an hour on the driving range that I haven't had all week. He's like, I just knew that like the bunker on 1, the bunker on 2 were going to be no problem. And for him to like leave it in that bunker today was just like, okay, well, something has changed from yesterday. We're not quite freewheeling it the way that we were.
And a hanging lie. Like you don't see that often in these fairway bunkers. He'd like stand up on the incline part of the bunker.
And then the wedge was not awful, but just kind of one of those like just keeps going and going and going and trickling away. And then the putt was very bad after that to not be able to get it down for bogey. But
see, I think Neil, like if that ball goes in the water on 11, that might have just been his. All right, fuck. All right, I made double there. Now I'll do whatever on 12 and I'll go try to birdie 13. Like that might have.
I mean, he
might have been better off if that went in the water. Honestly, truly.
Yeah.
But then I wonder if he goes in the water there, then I don't think Bryson goes in the water. I think Bryson plays it way out to the right. Like, okay, I got an opening here. Bryson
had no idea where the ball was going.
I don't think it mattered by that point.
He had to shock the water in Rays Creek after the events of earlier this week.
I don't know if Bryson doesn't drop 2 there, he's right in it. Because he started pressing.
I snare dropped 1 in there earlier.
God, dude, it was going back to that putt on 3 that he made, the downhill slider on 3 was
so good,
electric. I mean, the place went nuts. That was one of the biggest scores of the day.
First 2 holes,
and then birdie 4,
and then oh my god, the iron he hit into 4 was unbelievable. The thing, it was like a rifle crack coming out of there, and
then he hit a crazy shot on 5.
I mean, it was just people were overall riding for Rory, obviously, but like Bryson had some loud fans out there too, and he was, early in that round, it was really, really, really fun before he things went sideways for him. So, just an all-time day, man. It really was. It was awesome.
I don't know if it's been said. I just want to give Rory props for hitting 2 fantastic drives off 18T.
Seriously,
I mean.
Yeah,
obviously still bogeyed it in regulation, but man, to hit perfect high fades, middle of the fairway, gap wedge in, that was big time also.
And I think, do you think if next time Rory's in this situation, do you think he's just like, my superpower is like hitting these majestic long irons and I'm sending it on 30? Like, I'm not doing that again. I'm not trying to protect anything ever again, right? Because we talked about that last night when he hit that 6 iron in 15
in the water in 2. Also,
totally.
Like, hit it in 2, take your draw. At worst, you're making 6 probably.
Which Solly, to your point there, like I think I agree with his strategy on 17 in regulation of like hitting the 3-wood. It's got a little bit more spin on it because I don't think he's hitting that fairway with driver.
I don't think he hit the 3-wood very well. But
he didn't either. Yeah, but like having a long iron in, I don't think necessarily hurt him with how he was hitting all the half shots and everything.
That's for me, Randy. I appreciate you crack.
For you, Neil.
Party. You know what, Randy? It's good to see you, man. We don't hang out enough anymore. It's good to have you. Just stop.
You all got a funnel at this party. Dad's got to get a little. Dad's got to get a little.
Randy's got to catch up.
Yeah. Come on, TC, Randy's been here too, man.
The TC and Randy been nothing but class, Neil. It's been very cool so far.
And I'm going to be nothing but class back. I mean, it was just like, what's like, as far as just like a day of golf. I mean, if Rory loses that, it's just devastating. And for me personally, but like either way, like that was going to be like, that's an all-time round, win or lose.
Well, you know what?
That one goes down in history.
You know what's crazy, unlikely about this from how like our predictions and projections have gone for the history of this podcast? Cody, get yourself in here right now. 4 of us picked Rory to win this week. Like group high fives right here. Group celebration right here of actually getting this one right. Because the only time I got worried about those picks when I was like, oh God, everybody's on this. that could not be a good sign. But
well, I don't know. I gotta shout you out too for even getting more specific. Well, back to back. Sure. I mean, Scotty and Rory, so don't pat yourself on the back too much.
I thought you did as well, right? Didn't you get both?
I did, but who's counting? But what I was gonna say was you declaring it like I'm picking him this one time, and if it doesn't happen this week, it's never happening. Which I was gonna ask you guys, like, do you think that's true? If Justin Rose makes his putt in the playoff and Rory gacks another short one, like that's it, right?
Oh.
Like he doesn't ever. There's no fucking way. He comes back.
That would have been truly.
You know what, Deej? We don't ever have to worry about that, brother.
It's
I need
amazing.
Brother Marty in here talking about gratitude.
Well,
and how does it feel, Neil? It feels fucking awesome, Marty. I'll tell you that right now. God, man, what a day.
Speak on this, brother.
Well, here's the question.
On this,
way too soon question: does Rory ever win another green jacket?
Yes.
Yeah, for sure.
I think so.
Yeah, I do. Let's go, man.
Yeah.
It kind of feels like a Phil situation. I mean, that emotion.
Truly.
It really does. It's
Good
like,
point.
okay, now I know what to do. Like now I'm completely freed up. Now everyone's scared of me.
He's
Instead of
very
everybody, like,
dangerous again. Yes.
yes, very dangerous is a good way to
Yeah.
put it. Going into Quail Hollow. I mean, guys, the actual Grand Slam is in jeopardy. Come on.
Neil, I was saying
Scotty,
that last
you
night
gonna
when
declare
I
it?
picked him on the live show last night. I was saying that, like, if he wins today, we are talking about the Grand Slam because he's going to Quail Hollow and he's going to Portrush for the
You
last.
missed the cut at Portrush last time.
I don't care.
But, no, we need-
That's
we
because
need-
it was. That's because it was the dude that we saw today on
Yes.
the first tee who was like
Yeah.
squeezing the fuck out of the steering
Hold on.
wheel and just trying to keep it
You
on the
think
road.
this fucking guy that almost gagged it in epic fashion
Yeah.
gets to Portrush to close out the Grand Slam? You think he's closing the door on that one?
we slayed the dragon today.
Which, guys, I have a
think we
mea
did.
culpa. I picked Rory not to win.
That's tough.
That's sick.
Oh, that's really tough, TC.
That's two in a row for
I
you.
think that's two in a row, Xander
That's
and then Rory. Hey, listen, I'm self-reporting
Picking
it.
Scotty and Rory to win the Masters
Big of
is
you.
not that cool. Getting that wrong 2 times in a row is very cool.
So I'll say he will win another green jacket, but again, I want to alert why. Again, I was so amped on this one was I think the Scotty surgery thing was not nothing. Like Scotty has not been
Wow,
his
you saying we
sharpest.
need an possible asterisk here?
No, I'm saying this was a great opportunity for it. Scotty was not at his best. Rom clearly not at his best. You know, Ludwig's still only second time around. He's obviously a predator on this golf course.
That was
Like
his C+ game. This
So
year.
something you probably didn't see on TV, but Rom's coming up 17 as Rory and Bryson are going teeing off on 8. And I mean, just a sea of people, all energy, and Rom and my guy Keen, like nobody watching him. And I was just watching Rom walk up and looking over. He was looking the whole time up the fairway, just kind of like, just could kind of feel like, man, I'm missing out. And it was kind of one of those moments where I was like, man, this is kind of a interesting view, because I was up in the grandstand on 17 watching the tee balls on 8, and it was just a really interesting snapshot of like I would not have pictured us being here 2 years ago.
Yeah.
And you know what, God, if Scotty doesn't make that ravioli, I mean,
Who knows,
man? Unbelievable stuff.
Hope it was
Butterfly effect stuff.
Hope it was worth it.
Yeah.
Scotty is coming back. I don't know when, but it's again, this was a great, wonderful window here.
I have a question
Xander.
for Randy. No, hold on. I got a question for Randy. Randy, what did you say or do when Rory made that putt in the playoff?
Maybe I had some private communications.
Yeah.
Give me a picture, Big. You're in your new place. Did you was it like a Rudy, that gift where, where was it respect? Was it like the little kid with the Jeter hat, little hat tip? Like,
It might have been like the coach in the Mighty Ducks with the pop collar,
Yeah. No, it was Mickelson to Rosie and the, too good there. Pick that one up. No, it's not a great answer. I was just watching on the couch in our basement. My wife was actually down there who picked a Rory. She was pretty chuffed about that. But it felt like a foregone conclusion. Once Rose missed that putt, it just is what it was. And, hey, that's it. Nice tournament, and we started to get ready for the podcast. I don't have anything better than
that's
that.
fine. I was just curious on the ride home. I was like, I wonder what Randy did. Was he like, man, I was wondering if you're like, you know what? That is pretty cool, man. Like making room for wow or anything like that.
Coming down the stretch in regulation though was pretty wild. I mean, so it sounds like
if I'm counting, I didn't see the putt on 14. It sounds like Rory really didn't make a putt.
No.
Like 10 was the last putt he actually made.
Missed
right? Because he missed
11,
the par putt on 11.
Fine 2-putt on 12, but missed a 8-footer, 9-footer on 13. Missed like an 8-footer on 14. Missed a 6-foot eagle putt on 15, and missed like an 8-foot birdie putt on 16. Like it was.
And then a kick in on 17 and missed a 6-foot. Well, how long was the putt on 18 in regulation?
It said 5 feet. It was
5, 6
God, because I couldn't get any
like
good intel.
always low, always left.
Well, Neil,
and on that one there was a close up of him. Like you can see the putter lifting up, and he just
kind of the same, very Pinehursty on.
But it just went
that one in regulation,
right to left there instead.
Neil, you're talking about getting information out on the golf course, which I think brings us to our Yeti coldest moment of the week. We had kind of a group conversation before we hopped on, and this was on the broadcast, but obviously you'll have some firsthand perspective. But when he made double on 13, they showed there's the epic grandstand on 18, and they have the analog, scoreboard.
Oh, it's the best.
Of course.
The gasps when they turn the scoreboard.
That they showed on CBS was the best I think I've ever seen. Everybody sitting there waiting, and he goes from 13 under to they're taking it down. Okay, hold on, they're grabbing the tile, they're hanging up. 11 under. He made double on 13, and all the surrender cobras. Everybody, I mean, it was epic. And I'm curious what that's like on site.
It's it's honestly like the best part of one of the best parts of the experience is just like you're forced to talk to the people around you because you're always searching for information, and the collective.
And you want to share stuff with people.
Yeah,
too,
and so
right?
it ebbs and flows. So like they never change the scoreboards when somebody's putting on the green, so they wait. So then there's always this release of energy when these guys walk off. So say you're sitting at Amen corner, scoreboard's behind 11 over the pond. The guys will walk to 12T, and as they're doing that, they'll usually change a couple scores, including if it's the leaders, like the guys walking off the green. And so then it's like the murmurs start, and like, oh, look, Scotty's making a move, or like Justin Rose could, Rosie doing things, and so I found it to be like one of my like highlights of the week was just like always trying to find a spot to watch where you had access to a scoreboard is like, you're kind of hunting for that kind of location. But I happen to be with or run into Jamie Weir down at 13. And like, he's a massive Rory guy. So it's like, oh my God, like just tough. Like we were standing there with him when he chipped it in the water. And he's like, well, what? And so he had just called his dad. So he had all this intel because he had just come from the phone bank. So he was giving us like updates across
Jamie had called Jamie's dad or Rory's dad?
No, he called his own dad who was in Spain on vacation. So he called his dad, and his dad gave him like 10 minutes of like, details on like Rose is doing this, this, and this. So we walked up to him, and he's like, all right, here's the situation. Which is kind of like a funny thing. Like people are over by the phones, like working the phones back home to get intel on what's going on down at Amen corner. It's like going back in time. It's incredible.
Are there any radio pieces at the Masters?
No radios.
Okay. So
real quick. Thank you to Yeti, of course, for presenting that coldest moment there. Please, everybody, check their full product line out at Yeti.com. And also, I think Rory had a safety blanket out there right now.
Somebody was carrying around. I don't want to say who it was.
Yeti packing cubes are huge. Listen, I've been riding with these.
You see something, you say something. Check them out, Yeti.com. Of course, thank you to them for presenting the coldest moment of the week.
Neil, it sounds like there's an opportunity out there for like a Paul Revere. You get a little info, you start riding around the grounds, telling
That's
people.
right.
You can't run though, Randy. You can't.
Rosie is coming. Rosie is coming. No, it filters through.
One if by sand, two if by tree.
Well, I had Scoops call that in. Also, Cody, note to you, I called in a Spiel Schuster call from the front nine after
reporting live from Augusta National Golf Club. It's been a big opening salvo. The Irishman hits puberty and drops 2 at the first, but he gets off the mat and takes it to the big golfer at the 3rd hole. He regains his 1-stroke lead, hits an absolute rifle shot into the 4th hole, and boy, oh boy, the Irishman's coming. The big golfer, dazed and confused, walking up to the 4th. We'll get back to you later. Again, Spiel Schuster reporting live from Augusta National Golf Club.
I missed
couldn't
what
come
is
up.
spiel.
I don't know, spiel. Like you talk a lot. I couldn't come up with anything, so I went with that.
He hits
Randy.
puberty and
Best I
drops
got.
2 at the first.
Neil, what's it like
Yeah.
to record that in front of people, a ton of people around the phone banks?
I had somebody recognize me right after I walked out, and I was like, "Did you?" He's like, "What are you doing here?" I was like, "I don't know. I'm calling in some stupid
Holy shit, are you
phone
Spiel
thing."
Schuster?
It's spiel.
Oh shit! It's Spiel Schuster.
God.
I didn't want to go to Scoops. I didn't want to step on Scoops' toes.
Well, thanks to all of our reporters on the ground this week. Huge help to have some eyes and ears out there.
Are we able to move off Rory now as we enter the 56th minute of this show? There's a lot of other stuff to talk about here.
You guys tell me. I'm not going to force the issue. It's your night.
I mean, we'll pick back up with another hour on Rory, I think, on the back half.
I think we're gonna have another guest who wants to talk a little more Rory too.
I think we will as well. Do you want to do that now, or what's the schedule here? Cody's popping in here?
Bring him
No,
in.
sorry, that was me. I clicked Cody.
Yeah, it's okay. Yeah, we can bring him in. Of course, you guys. You know, we're a serious operation here. We had to leave somebody behind temporarily. You never leave a man behind, but temporarily he was out there picking up all the quotes and quick notes and everything he could. Of course, it's our guy, our Big J.
When KVV comes marching in, when KVV comes marching in. Oh, how I long to make more birdies when KVV comes marching.
Hello, friends. It's good
Hello,
to see
Kev.
you. God, what a day. What a day.
What are you feeling right now?
Take us there, yeah.
Kind of, relief, I think. You know what? I'll say this relief, not because I was like flat out cheering for Rory. I think I probably was, but just because the fucking storylines can reset now. We don't have to talk about, can he get it done in the Masters? Can he win a Grand Slam? And Rory's opening comments, his press conference were, guys, I'd like to ask you a question. Like, what are we going to talk about next year? Which I thought was kind of a fun thing. Like, it's just, imagine it was exhausting for him to have to do this the last 10 years. And now it finally can be about something else. It can be about whether Rory can win 7-8 majors. It can be about whether he can, go on a run, like a Phil-like run late in his 30s and stuff. It's just, it was a fun day. I swear, like, when I came work for you guys, I said part of the reason I did it because I didn't want to miss any more like Haley's comments coming by. Like, I miss Tiger, I miss Phil. God, I'm fucking glad I was here for this one, because it was just really. I think Neil and I died 1,000 deaths on the back nine. I could not believe when he hit that ball in the water on 13. I think there were people media leaving and just basically saying like, no, we're good. Like, we're going to write the story. And all of a sudden, like, he's down 1, walking up, 15 fairway. When he hit that shot into 15, it was hard to see, like, and I basically just closed my eyes and let the crowd kind of tell me what happened.
Wow.
And that was an all-time cool moment to just hear to have your eyes closed and hear the eruption, and thought, fuck, that's got to be close. I think Porter kind of like punched me in the chest when I opened my eyes, and it just was a really cool thing, and really cool just to see him hug his daughter, and just to kind of have all of that come washing out of him on 18 green. Really, really psyched that I was there for this.
Anything of note? It's going to surprise you, but we have talked about Rory for the last hour. But anything of note, otherwise in the press conference, any highlights from that, or anything that stuck out?
I just think that he kind of felt just an overwhelming sense of relief. He basically said there was no joy like right away. It was just like, okay, finally, like I did this. He got really teared up one moment in the press conference when Eamon asked about him and Harry, and that Harry had grown up in a little tiny town, and Rory told a story about he met Harry the first time when he was 7 years old on the putting green at Hollywood Golf Club, and what a kind of like cool thing it was for them to get to do this together. All of his other majors came with JP Fitzgerald, and I just think that's kind of cool. Like, whatever you feel about Harry, like your best friend from the time you're like a little kid is, Harry tried to talk him off a couple shots today, like on 7, and he was like, "No, I got this, man." Like, you almost see them never like communicate, and so for him to like share a little bit into that, I just think it's like Rory's the most self-aware, like super famous athlete that we have. And it was interesting to hear him kind of talk about like what it's like to be like psychoanalyzed by all of us, not just us, but like the whole world for the last 15 years, and just have those people kind of live in your head. And I just think that that's kind of a fascinating thing to have that unburdened now, to just basically be like, okay, I can finally think and talk about something else.
Unburdened by what has been. KVV, I saw that conversation on 7 from across the fairway. And that's really good insight because I mean, Rory's it's like a Phil Bones situation. He's like pointing, he's like, no, it's up here. Like I'm gonna, and I'm just everybody on the other side is like, don't do something stupid, man. And I don't know, did it because his reaction to that shot was like, oh God, like the club went to his
caught like just one piece. Yeah.
It didn't like hit a lid. It like brushed a pine, like a straw off a pine.
Because you're looking 150 yards back, and it's like, oh God, his reaction is like not good. And then all of a sudden, Aurora Ruff's ball appears and like lips out. Like, I mean, just you expect that kind of shot like once in a round like this. It felt like there were 3 or 4 of those shots, like the ball hanging up on 11, just like by a hair a few different times. It was an incredible day.
I don't know if you guys saw the quote that just Bryson came out with, but said that he several times tried to talk to Rory during the round, and Rory just would not acknowledge him, would not have conversation with him at all.
Yeah.
He just like silenced him the entire way.
Which like anybody that like gets pissed off at that, we would celebrate the hell out of that from Tiger.
He did that. That literally, he now came up to him on 7 when they played together in 2019 and was like, "So how the kids, man?" He goes, "They're good." And didn't say another word to him. The rest, he's like, and Tony was like, okay, well, I'm not there.
One other thing I saw, I wrote it down on 6 green. Rory hit it just over, he's in the fringe, and then Bryson hit it like just inside him, like same line. So Bryson had to move his mark. And there was this moment where they both went to read the putt on either side of the hole, and they both synchronized, went down into a crouch, and they were both like staring at each other on the same line. It was just like one of those moments you're like, oh my God, like total face off, like 20 feet away. And they both stood up at the exact same time and then like circled around the hole. And I was like, and then Bryson stepped out, and like was like let Rory. But it was kind of one of those, I was like, God, it didn't turn out to be Bryson at the end, but for pretty much full front 9, it was like a total showdown, which was awesome to watch.
Yeah.
There's no scenario which I could have imagined after 1. I was out there on 1, and as I walked down 2, I was like, I've seen this horror movie too many times. Like, I can't be here. I was joking in our Slack when I came back, like, I might be the cooler, so maybe it was time for me to go inside for a little while. And then I went back out, and I didn't want to tell Cody that I was going back out because I know he was like, saying I should basically just drive home because he didn't want me fucking up the block party. But you know what? After he birdied 9, I saw him birdie 10. I was like, oh, I'm not the cooler. Like, this is this. It's his own volatility, man. That's going to this. It was so fun. I heard you guys a little bit talking about the town crier. Like, it is really fun to hear the news ripple throughout the course. Like, what did Rose do on 17? Oh my God, he made about, and just to see like that stuff travel. It's so incredibly old school. Like on 18, no one could see shit. And there was probably a 12, 13-year-old kid who got up on his dad's shoulders. And this kid was like, all right, Rose has got 12 feet. Then Rory's got 4 feet. And the kids, oh my gosh. And so this kid
sounds
was
like Scoops.
The kid was the hero to all of us. And I was like, go forth and spread the good news. it was neat.
KVV, I think, obviously Phil and Rory like this, but A, it'll be a really interesting Champions Dinner next year. But B, I think there's a lot of synergies there. They both won their first Masters at 34. They both had kind of 7 top 10s and a lot of close calls prior to that. And then, but where do you net out on? Do you think this opens the floodgates for Rory moving forward, both in majors, but more specifically in the Masters?
I think so. I mean, could you see him winning another Masters? Absolutely. Like, I think that we've always kind of said, he's going to rip off 1 or 2 more. I mean, winning majors is hard. So to say he's like going to get to 10 now, I think that's unrealistic. Like he burned a whole decade.
Nobody would say that.
Rory took that personally.
I don't know, Jim.
We'll see. Let's hopefully have this conversation in 5 years. But man, it would be impossible for him to not be unburdened at like Quail Hollow. Like, how would your year, everything that you get now is like house money, for this year and all the way through the Masters next year, even that. So I think we got a 5 major run where he's going to be completely like freed up. And I think the most interesting thing about him, and he said this in the press conference, he's like, I'm such a better golfer today than I was in 2014. And I think that's so true. The most like disciplined thing all week was just watching him hit these like sawed off iron shots, where he wasn't, the only time he really ripped through with a full follow through was on 7 when he had to just absolutely just smash that 9-iron as hard as he could. So to see him be like super conscious of the fact, like, hey, I got to hit this trajectory. I got to do this. I got to make sure that I don't control my spin. man, that was not a kid in 14, or certainly 11 who could do that. Somebody asked him, what'd you think of, if you could go back and talk to yourself in 2011, what would you say? And he was like, I don't know what I'd say, but I know that kid is a kid who didn't know like who he was. He didn't know how he got there in the first place. He didn't know how he collapsed. He didn't know how to deal with it. And I had a lot of learning to do. He didn't know anything about the world. He's like, I'd like to think that I've learned a lot in the time since.
And that's something he's always led on, both privately and a little bit in public, of like, he's kind of always had this thing of like, dude, like, I'm just like a 5'9" kid from like a small town in Northern Ireland. Like, I'm not a prodigious athlete, right? I don't think he like planned on like 4 major success by the age of like 15, 16, 17. And like when it came, it hit really, really hard. And I think there's just been this kind of thing in the back of his head this whole time. Like, dude, I'm not like Tiger. Like, I'm not like this level. And that's kind of like a Bob Rotella, like subconscious thing that probably worked against him over the last several decades when he got to 4 so fast of like, oh, dude, I don't think I'm supposed to be this many under par. Like, I got to call the C-suite now. Like, it just it starts feeling a little bit more awkward from there. But
the fact that happened on 13 was like, I just can't believe 13 today. But KVV, to your point, the sawed-off shot he hit into 12 was just mature, grown up. I'm going to bed early. I'm waking up and working out every day. I'm taking the kids to school golf. I mean, it was just like, oh, we did it. Like, hit the dead center of the green and 2-putted 12. It was kind of like, all right, we're good, man. Like,
we're good. And then we're going to miss
the trophy. I'll see
we're
the
gonna miss
trophy
every
ceremony.
putt from here on out.
That was like the vibe coming out of the grandstands. Everyone doing this big exodus. That was kind of the vibe. Like, oh, we're dialed. He didn't do a Spieth, basically, was kind of the vibe.
Yeah.
Like, okay, then it's pretty much smooth sailing on the way home. Like, just don't don't be a moron. And sure enough, like, just give it about 15 minutes, Randy. I know that. I know how that goes.
I'll make one final point about like the presser in the sense I remember very vividly. This is one of my favorite quotes of all time in the LACC. After that one, I said, are you kind of tired of us like psychoanalyzing you and asking you what you learned? And he said, I'd go through 100 Sundays like this to have another chance to win a major championship. And I really think like all those heartbreaks and disappointments kind of like showed up today in the sense of like he never really having dealt with the worst of the worst of the worst. Like he said again, like the US Open was really bad. It was really hard to recover from. And I think like knowing you've already, all right, it wasn't the end of the world when that shit happened. He kind of like died 3 different times in this round and was like, okay, like
I'm kill me. I'm already dead.
I'm already dead. And so, the on 1, on 13, on 18, 3 different chances that sort of felt like they were thrown away in the Masters. And he still ended up Masters champion. I think that's only because he went through all the shit that he did. And
there's some Dickens stuff there. It's kind of like meeting these different ghosts along the way.
Totally.
And I think the only thing that maybe he didn't have to do was like he didn't have a drive that went out of bounds or a drive that really, screwed him. But otherwise it's kind of, like I'm meeting all of these, like Neil, you were talking about your ex-girlfriends the other night. It's like if you see your ex-girlfriend,
like
that's
almost
almost like with Rory, like
trying to accomplish a life goal, and it's like, oh, hey, how are you? Things are good with me. I'm just like,
TC, when he hit that shot, when he hit his drive on 10, I was like, he's defeated another boss on the way to the final boss.
There's so many bosses.
Well, how about Team Rose being the final boss? I mean, that's like the Kristoff is up in the booth. Unbelievable.
I think Andy Johnson made a really interesting point on the shotgun start earlier this week. It was unrelated to this, but he was talking about how much better they were talking about press conferences and Xander getting much more interesting and JT getting much more interesting. And his point was like kind of 2 different things. Like the youth craze in golf is fun and exciting and sugar high ish, but man, golf is so much better when the stars are 32, 33, 34 years old because they've lived so much more life. They have so much more experience. And that's just when you combine that with technology and venues and all these different things, I just thought he said it really, really well. And it made me think about a lot of that stuff, especially as you're summing it up, his press conference.
Think about like this scene of walking, like we're not good. I'm trying to envision a scenario in our careers where we're going to see a scene like walking off that 18th green. Like we saw the Tiger one, which was a comeback from, it was a 5th green jacket. This was a slaying of a different dragon. This was 10 years of angst built up. Like we're not going to have, maybe if Jordan wins a PGA 10 years from now, after a bunch of crazy heartbreaks, that'll be for the career Grand Slam. But like, there's nothing we're going to experience like this, like of just we're not going to see somebody. We might see somebody like on the 18th green crying, coming off it, like literally laying on it. But we all watching on TV won't feel like what we felt watching that, because it was that's a true once in a lifetime thing, and it was like the biggest storyline in golf. I can't believe it's over. I can't believe it's over.
No one even asked him in the presser. I was just shocked about this, but Sarazen, Hogan, Jack, Jerry, Tiger, Rory. I mean, whoa! Like, to say those words out loud is kind of wild. Like, that's your place in history.
Welcome to the club, Rory McIlroy.
Completing the Grand Slam at
Welcome,
Augusta.
Rory.
Something special. Your determination during the round, and
proud of you.
Our journey is shown through.
I'll tell you something interesting that's
Really
happening
good weekend.
too. Just looking at like recent major champions, there's this entire, like, everybody's going nuts about all these young guys coming up, right? Nobody, like, in the last 3 or 4 years, like, nobody's really nobody under the age of 26, 27 has won a major. It's all been these guys that are kind of like Xander, Brooks, Scotty, I guess, was 26, but feels like he's 40.
46, yeah.
Where did Clanton finish this week?
Oh, yeah, I mean, right. Where'd Lucas Glover finish this week? It was different in our dreams. But there's this whole youth movement afoot. But it's like the guys that kind of we came up with over the last 10 years or so are buckling down and really, saying, hey, like, the stage is still ours. We are not relinquishing this thing.
Yeah,
for sure. Hey guys, Neil and KVV, they got to get going. They got a lot of real work to do. Guys, I know you got a big project going on. It's going to come out tomorrow-ish, maybe Tuesday.
Tuesday
Tuesday
night is what we got a lot of work to do. Can I give you one more? Like, the funniest moment of the day was KVV and I were left a 15 green after Bryson had hit it in the pond. And we were laughing that, like, maybe Bryson asked in the comments, like, what if I get 30,000 views on this video, I'll hit it in the pond, just I don't know. It was a lot funnier when we were doing it out there, but it's just like, hey, comment below what you'd want to see on 15.
Guys, I'll swim across the pond if I get 10,000 likes in the next 4 minutes.
But that's going to be on my channel. That's next week.
True.
We were cracking ourselves up. Absolute glee out there. Unbelievable stuff. Guys, thanks for having me on your program. I'm going to go celebrate. We're going to go break down some audio. Very, very, very fired up, and love being with you.
All-time performance here, Neil, tonight.
Thank you, Spiel.
Spiel,
Schuster out, KVV out. Thank you guys so much. So one thing I just couldn't help but marvel at was, I mean, the prodigious, like the final pairing, the prodigious length of both of these guys, of just like, yeah, you can lengthen 14 holes, you can move a road, you can buy a hole from another golf course and still just hit 9 irons at 8, just bullying the golf course, absolutely sending it. You can start sending it if you go to thestacksystem.com/NLU and use code NOLAYINGUP for 10% off your purchase. That is, of course, the stack system we've been raving about that will 100% help you gain swing speed, help you hit the golf ball farther on the golf course, help you cruise at a better speed. Like, you don't need to go on the golf course and swing as hard as Bryson to get very tangible benefits from this. 15, 20-minute warm-up, then 10 to 15 minutes of swinging twice a week. Once every 3 days is all you got to do, and your swing speed just goes straight through the roof. DJ has been following this program religiously. He can say great things about it as well. Cody's been following it religiously. His speed is way up. It's been fantastic. They got stacked putting, they got stacked wedges, they got all kinds of stuff.
Hey, maybe you're having a hard time with the wedges. Maybe you're having a hard time hitting greens from 50 yards. You can also hit the stack wedges, get really comfortable with those shots.
So again, visit thestacksystem.com/NLU. Code NOLAYINGUP will get you 10% off. It's an unbelievable app. It gamifies it. It's very fun to do. Just try it. I promise you. I've never gotten more feedback on a product from as many people that have used it and have just raved about it and how fast the gains are. So maybe about 5 more ads and I can get TC to take it out of the box in his garage and get to work on it. So
it's right over, it's staring at me right over there, Sally.
It's one of those ghosts he's gonna have to conquer.
I promise we'll move off the Rory thing. I think there is one thing I do want to address, and KVV mentioned this, and this came up in the presser as well. I guess the criticism of Harry as a caddy. I can only speak for myself personally. When I have challenged this, like Rory on this, of having Harry on the bag, and I've said out loud, do I think Bones could save you more shots around Augusta National than Harry? Yeah. I still say yes to that, and I think I've always, at any point, at least speaking for me personally, the criticism was never about Harry as a caddy. Like that's not it. It was about hiring a best friend rather than an experienced caddy, somebody that can maybe separate their friendship from you, can maybe hold you a little bit more responsible, help you make more sound decisions, rather than like Rory had the attitude. And I talked to him about this when he made the change back in 2017 of like, I wanted to be more involved in my own decisions. I want to get my own yardages. I wanted to just like be in control and basically like do it myself. I'm paraphrasing that, of course, but I found flaws in that under the highest of major championship pressure. And we've seen that come out. Again, they can dunk on any of us that have criticized any of that. They got a green jacket as of now, but I wouldn't say the path to it was flawless today. And, sometimes, there was
it seemed like he was pretty solitary out there
there was a good nugget that right? Harry said after the 72nd hole. I just saw this on Twitter that was like, hey, we would have taken this at the beginning of the week, like a good caddy line to say going back to the tee of a playoff. And again, it's not that Harry's an incapable caddy in any way. It was just like at times it felt like, again, this is where we are just kind of chucking him from the cheap seats and we have no real way of verifying this, but it has felt like a more veteran caddy could have helped him out of certain scenarios at times. And that's at least that's how I would kind of sum up the situation. I don't know if anybody has any.
Solly, I feel similarly of like, I don't think the criticism was ever of Harry. It was of
Rory.
Rory's choice and what the alternative was. But to Rory's credit, like we said earlier, he won playing his way and he won making his own decisions. And I think, that's a credit to him. Now, if Rory were to be sitting here right now, I would say like, all right, well, like what about the 24 majors prior to this that you didn't win? Right.
40.
But like with Harry
right.
on the bag. Right. And I think there's something to be said there. Like he ultimately got it done and that's what matters. But I think there's different ways to skin the cat, right? There's different ways to get it done. And it just seemed like, like there's plenty of shots that he didn't pull off through the years where like an experienced hand could have had him, but also who knows, like, he needs somebody to pick him up on Friday after he plays poorly. And like Harry's probably a better guy to do that than some stranger on the bag.
That's what I was going to say, TC, is like it's very easy to quantify or, quote unquote quantify like, oh, I bet Billy Foster would have been better with that read. I bet Bones would have got that read. I bet, whatever. But when you also talk about the intangibles of travel in the world and going to having someone to go to dinner with, having someone to go, like, think about how many life changes he's gone through in the last 7-8 years, whatever it's been since he's been on the bag. It's like having some sort of rock from your childhood or some sort of kind of grounding agent has to be worth, at least the calculus to Rory seems like it is worth way more than, those ad hoc kind of, you should have hit this club instead of that club type of moments.
And like that moment today was probably 10 times more special because Harry was on the bag and they did it together and they'd been through all those 100%. Previous heartbreaks together. But I think also like Rory's such an emotional player and it was so nervy today. And you're thinking, man, how can you get like someone that recognizes that and can kind of guide him a little bit more, like a jockey almost, instead of like, hey, my horse is jittery today. Cool. We're going to go to the outside, stay away from the rail here for the first 6 holes. And then, that sort of thing. Right.
Yeah. I think it's one of those things, guys, where we use the word experienced a lot, but Harry's been a full-time professional caddy for 6 years now. Like
he's almost 8 years. Almost 8 years. It was summer of 17. Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. So we're almost at 8 years of him being a full-time professional caddy. I think it's one thing when we say experience versus being able to separate the friendship and like have it be a work environment to be able to pull Rory in for a second and be like, yo, dude, like, let's just take a second. I don't know if they have that.
I don't think we're saying professional. I think we're saying assertive.
Correct.
I think those are two different things.
But we also wouldn't have this. And I'm going to show this video here. It's an amazing video from Hollywood Golf Club. The moment that the putt rolled in. And if it wasn't for Rory and Harry being together, we wouldn't have had moments like this.
It's the block party.
Yeah, that's the real block party.
Oh, God.
What do you think, Randy? You think they're hamming it up?
No, I mean, that's cool.
That's amazing.
That's awesome.
Yeah. I mean,
gosh, you know what
like,
struck me today?
Yeah.
Go ahead, Randy. No, I was just going to say, like, this weekend, everything that men's pro golf has been through, the billions invested here, the billions invested there, like, at the end of the day, like, you can't. None of these people are going to be able to buy what this weekend meant to Rory and all of his fans the world over. Like it just is wonderful from that perspective.
Totally agree. I think just with Rory I'm very curious to see, like, all right, does he party like crazy over the next week and then lock back in? Like, how does this look? You know, because he wants to go rock up at Quail Hollow and just send it, but also, is that kind of the hungover Rory, the hungover DJAF Rory that like we've kind of wanted to see for a while? Like that almost plays into it. And heard that like Rotella doesn't ever really come into majors anymore. Like he doesn't really travel all that much. He was there the entire week, heavily involved.
That's pretty cool.
I think that's an interesting thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also again, we've mentioned it many times over the last probably 2 to 3 years of just like, if you go back and watch Rory play a major in 2019 era and now, the ball speed difference is staggering. I mean, it's pretty much as staggering as the leap Bryson made. I mean, I know Bryson kind of went up to this top level and kind of started dialing it back from there, but Rory just like easily accessing 330 plus carries it feels very normal now, but that's a superpower. That is what has helped elevate his game to a completely different level, because it's absurd. It's absurd how far he's hitting it, how fast he's hitting it, how he can just, hit it over into the trees on 5 and have 9 iron in on that hole, and how well he played the par 5s this week, and getting to those distances where he can shoot the 7 iron up into the air around a tree and hold that green. Like the driving that is included in the package of what has made Rory very different in this era. That's what makes me think like he might go run down 2 more in the next 2 years, like majors. Like that's not outside the realm of possibility at all.
That's where I'm kind of at too, is to your point, Tron, like I don't think he's gonna go take like some massive victory lap. I feel like he's just gonna kind of exist with a little more lightness, rather than kind of have this big thing hanging around his neck. And now it almost goes from massive projection for me, but I could see how it would almost go from oh shit, I hope this is the year I finally do this, to like, oh my god, what if I win the next 3, and like that's I don't know, should be very scary.
Yeah, too bad though. He has to show up at Harbor Town next week for the signature event.
He doesn't have to.
He does not have to. The setup that he set up, right? That was his.
True.
He does not have to. That did not end up going through. He is taking advantage.
No, I know, but that was something
to celebrate
that he proposed initially. I just think that's kind of a funny full circle thing. Right?
Part of the tapestry, baby. Yeah.
All right, hour and a half more on Rory, and then we'll get to Team Rose. I think
Team Rose ruled, man. Team Rose ruled.
Truly did.
Straight up.
You do quote, gotta hand it to him.
Gotta hand it to him.
He won me over, man.
Incredible.
I mean,
he's talking about
like
it
the whole week too. Yeah. Like he didn't he was talking about how great of a round he played yesterday.
He didn't bottle it.
Like, yeah, it was. I don't know. He made 10 birdies today, guys.
It was a fucking incredible round of golf. Like incredible round of golf. It's so steady. Danny Willett adjacent in 2016. I think Willett did he shoot 67 that day? I forget what it was. It was an incredible round. And that's what it felt like was going to happen as well. But he was pretty like unsustainable in the early part of the week, just making a ton of putts, and like the ball striking arrived today. He was absolutely stuffing the pinata. I think he's going to root. I mean, I know he made the putt on 18. He's probably going to look back at that 17th, that putt that he had there, and probably end up regretting that one a fair amount. But man, I didn't have time to look this up. I'm sure Jay Ray is all over it, and I'm sure somebody's all over it. Is there another guy that lost 2 playoffs at the Masters? Like twice has played the Masters, and nobody beat him over 72 holes. And he got 0 green jackets out.
Was that a trivia question? Did DeMarco lose?
DeMarco was only once.
It was only one playoff.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, great question.
Rose made 24 birdies. He birdied 33% of his holes. He didn't make any eagles. He birdied 33% of his 72 holes this week at Augusta National.
And I don't know, man.
On a really, really tough week.
I got like, again, this is all the stuff I would have normally made fun of, and still kind of the line's blurry. I get it. But TC, you of course sent me the golf.com recovery trailer from the video from last year that Claire Rogers did, I believe. Cody's been amped about this for a year. He's been talking about it, I know, a bunch, but he's got the whole like retrofitted RV. It's driving around with the red light bed, the pure oxygen tanks with the spin bike, the cold plunge, the warm plunge, the sauna. He's doing all of this stuff. And like, again, it's straight faced. And it's just him being like, I had an abysmal back. And in order to keep putting myself in positions to maybe, possibly one day, maybe have a chance to win another major, this is the stuff I'm going to be doing. And I'm going to keep working my ass off, trying to just keep putting myself in these positions. And I'm not going to overdo it, by trying to win 30 events on the PGA Tour or grinding it out from week to week. Like I'm picking my spots and I'm going to go hard. And he's fucking finished runner up at the last 2 majors, man. And it's crazy. And you truly, Solly, you gotta hand it to him. You gotta hand it to him.
It's and what a career, right?
Yeah.
I mean, just like, I don't know, that's probably the ultimate mea culpa for me of just like shitting on Team Rose for a long, long time, and he just keeps.
It was never about his game. Like it was. No,
I know. But even like the earnestness and all of the stuff on social, it's truly like I appreciate him more knowing that he's just that locked in. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's a Ryder Cup year, that means deeply to him. But just thinking, like, dude, like this guy's doing it since 1990. Like, what was it, 97? That he was like the low amateur. Yeah, 98. Like that's and how bleak it got. And he's been in the top 100 in the world since 2002. That's 23 wild. Years in a row. And
again, like with some injuries sprinkled in, like
and a Hanma deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And could have gone to live.
Yeah. Well, and unlike when he lost to Sergio, where I think he like totally lost his drive, and Sergio ended up making birdie, but it was kind of a foregone conclusion. I mean, Rose played a hell of a playoff. That was a great drive. Yeah. Put the pressure on Rory, hit a great 8-iron. Like
100% thought he made that shot.
I know.
Thought that went in. Yeah.
He was game. Massive respect. I thought after yesterday's 75, he would fade. Nothing but respect.
That was pure grit today. I mean, pure grit, because he was fighting it off the tee seemingly all week. And
this golf tournament is never
he didn't have
over.
A par after 11.
The golf tournament truly is never over. Like he was dead. He was like dead yesterday. He was dead early on today. Now he's back. He's dead again. He's back. Like it is. This was a freaking all-timer. Yeah, he made 6 birdies on the back 9 today.
The last par he made was on 10.
Yeah.
He didn't par a hole from 11 through 18.
Incredible.
He made 8 birdies in his last 12 holes. Birdies 7, 8, 11, 12, 13, 15, 16, and 18.
So it was incredible. That underestimate him at your own risk, DJ.
That's exactly right. Yeah, I've been telling you for years. I know.
Well, they made the point, like, had he won today, that's a Hall of Fame career for Justin Rose, and who knows what
I still think it's a Hall of Fame career, just with like the longevity and like what he's gone up against. And you know what else was Hall of Fame? The people sitting out there on the driving range watching him stay warm for the playoffs.
Psychotic stuff.
The only thing I'll say to that is, like, truly, if you're late to 18, there's nothing to see. You can't see a damn thing. Like, you're looking at the back of like 18 people's heads, and that's it. You might as well be like, we'll watch this guy warm up. I guess.
Deej, to your point, I thought he made the second
crazy
shot in there.
It's crazy.
Yeah,
I think the Hall of Fame thing is, I wish in a way, I wish it was more like baseball. I wish people cared about the Hall of Fame.
I wish the Hall of Fame meant something.
Yeah, it kind of feels like one of those things. People are just like, oh yeah, that where's it again? They moved it, I think. But 11
honestly,
win,
like having a green jacket feels like the Hall of Fame.
Right, totally.
Right?
Yeah. 11 PGA Tour wins, 12 international wins, 1 major, gold medal.
Which
it does have the gold medal.
Ryder Cup stuff is kind of hard, a little hard to quantify. I mean, you have your record, obviously, but it
feels like it's a touch light, maybe, but who knows?
Little Fred couplesy.
Like what you're saying, who cares? Honestly,
well, laugh at your own peril. Like the Data Golf points list is like a formula that adds up BDEs, like weighs different events, different ways, gives majors certain weight, and Rose is 11th all time going into this. The top 10 all time are Tiger, and this is like, I think counting since 1983. I shouldn't say all time.
Okay,
but Tiger, Phil, VJ, Rory, Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, Davis Love, Sergio, Greg Norman, Fred Couples, Justin Rose is 11th, DJ is 12th. Then Nick Price, Adam Scott, Bernard Longer, Payne Stewart, Nick Faudo. That's Hall of Fame.
Yeah, no, probably
I
is.
think.
I mean, just the putt on 18 in regulation.
There's no way that wasn't going in.
Yeah.
And honestly, disappointed in the reaction. I thought we were going to get some major Rosie hysterics on that. There's just the removing your hat to go shoot 66 to go run down Rory to win.
So good.
And he didn't. And credit to him too. Like he doesn't. I don't know. I guess I was expecting a little more emotion after a close call. Like he just kind of did media, and it was just like it was just any other day. And that's just a seasoned professional, almost too professional, honestly. I kind of want to see somebody cry of just. I can't imagine the emotion of losing 2 playoffs.
We got this guy Chris in the comments. He's saying they're going to put Frank Gore in the NFL Hall of Fame. You got to put Team Rose.
Wave him in. Wave him in.
Yeah.
You
wore us out. You're in. You wore us out.
How about your guy P? Hole in one late, finishing solo third. Did not have that on my holing one. Sorry,
got it.
Holing one late.
I thought he was going to hold it on 18. Like it wasn't outside the realm of possibility.
I'll say this, man. God, you want to talk about kicking yourself? P turned a good birdie into a bogey on 13, or else he would have been in position to be in that playoff.
God, I mean, that's
how weird that would have been.
I think that would have been more demoralizing for Rory than losing to Bryson.
Totally.
Losing to P?
Whoa, you still play golf? Holy shit.
Yeah, God, he did all that with obviously eagled 17, no birdies though. Anywhere
he hit some of the greasiest short game shots I've ever seen before. Like the bunker shot on 12 was insane. I mean, just silky Johnson.
God, he's
guys. I miss P. Weeks like this, I miss P being in our lives.
Oh, yeah.
I know.
Lady J, all of it.
How Scotty finished 3 shots out of a playoff. I mean, there was about
with his like C- game.
Every time it cut to him, I was like,
unbelievable.
he was doing something bad, and I was like, all right, he's out of it. And they go, all right, well, he's still around. Now he's out of it. He missed that one too. He missed that one too. He's probably out of it. He ends up 3 back, shot 69 today. That's again where I'm like, dude, thank God Rory got this one because I think Scotty's gonna find some form. I doubt he gets back to the way he did last year, but he's gonna find a form that's better than the current one, and the golf world will remember the name.
Solly, what does stats say for Scotty this week? Just
Scotty
as far as
Sure.
kind of like
I
what
can get
like
you that.
it's like where did he kind of trip up this week?
He was negative 0.1 average off the tee, which doesn't sound massive, but he's a great driver of the golf ball. That is not good. But only plus 0.63 on average on approach. Actually,
Rory
putted
was
really well this week.
2.3 on approach.
Correct. Rory actually was negative strokes gained putting for the week. That was almost all in the back nine, I think, this afternoon. But he chipped it really well. Scotty chipped it really well and putted it really well. So I mean that's a good sign for when the ball striking does inevitably come back, which it will. He's getting it in the hole pretty relatively well. But man, Rory answered the bell with iron play. I know we've done an hour plus on Rory, but
no, hold on. While we're talking about Scotty, question for the group. It's just occurring to me. Now that Rory has not only won a major but has his green jacket, if there is a sense of pressure on anybody, I would throw out, Scotty winning a non-Masters major would have to be up there. I think Jordan Spieth, like winning any major, although that seems pretty far off still. Like, I think it's like, it's kind of like Scotty, dog. It's time to win outside of Augusta.
There's nothing better than the night of a major when one storyline ends and just
you're up.
Wheel
but you think like, and I'm not trying to.
No,
you're exactly right.
I think that's what's the fun of being a golf fan is like, if we can't talk about this stuff.
Randy, on that point too, like hat off to Xander. Came in kind of scuffling, a little rusty, just not a great year so far, and the new McRib like hurt with that intracostal injury, and finished T8. Like
he almost beat Zeke.
Yeah.
Crazy.
I think to your question, Randy, it's like I think that is the the next one is like, all right, where else is Scotty going to do it? Is he going to get it back? What's going on with Scotty? And I think the other one, and it's almost like, yeah, it's almost like worst case scenarios, like nobody cares enough to talk about it. But it's like, if you do care, and if you do follow golf, and if you do want to know who the best players in the world is, just like, what's up with Rahm? Are we doing it, or are we not doing it? Should we care? Should we not care? You know, and that's
what would you
like
say
sounds
is
extra
going on?
harsh, but that's like, it's kind of how I feel,
Rahm,
right?
Because Rahm
like,
kind of
we
did
got 4
the
bites of
Rory
the apple
thing.
here. Yeah.
The 75 in the first round, and then 3 rounds under par after that. So,
and yeah, I mean, if this was Rory's week right here, we would be talking about it for 20 minutes.
This has
probably.
been Rory's week.
I know,
like 40 times, and that's where it's like, to your point, Randy, it's like, yeah, it could be maybe it's a similar life cycle. Who knows?
Sung Jae T5, non-competitive T5.
Are we going down the leaderboard, TC?
Are we?
I don't know. I've been pushing so much tea over here to try to keep my voice going. I got to take a bathroom break. So I don't
go ahead.
I was gonna say I got to take a bathroom break here.
I just wanted to get to Bryson. We can Randy and I can ad lib if you guys need to take a
ad lib real quick.
Okay, go ahead.
We can talk the big golfer. What I mean,
he should wear this one. He should wear this one. 2-time US Open champion, content maker. Like, this was a very bad. He's never won a green jacket.
No-show.
It was a total no-show. He honestly, I mean, on one hand, I want to give him credit for like scraping and like getting into that final group without his best stuff leading up to it. But let's just put a big pause on like celebrating hitting 1,000 golf balls on the range all week if you're going to hit it really shitty in play. Like he lost almost a shot per round on average with his iron play, which is, you cannot win a major that way. He was best in the field off the tee of guys that made the cut. Actually, Tyrrell Hatton was best off the tee of guys that made the cut. That's kind of a stunner. But it was his iron play, and his putting lasted as long as it possibly could. But it just ran out of steam, and sustainability models did not like what he was up to. I mean, a T5 finish, if you're zooming out, is of course a very nice finish.
Yeah,
but
look
that was
good.
nothing. He gave Rory nothing today.
Well, and I thought after that start, right, where he had the lead after the second hole, I mean, it's imperative on him to at least just make a few pars, right? Like keep the pressure on Rory, make Rory feel like he's got to do something. And for him to give it away on 3 with a bad 3 putt, and then just a bad shot on 4, it just wasn't impressive at all from Bryson, which was disappointing me because this was the heavyweight fight we all wanted. This was the rematch from Pinehurst, and we didn't get it, but thankfully it was still a hell of an afternoon. But I never would have guessed that Bryson would be as uncompetitive, I guess, as he ended up being.
He got back down a little bit.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a compliment when we call you out like this, right? We don't do that for the people that don't matter. It's a compliment from a playing style perspective. But
I thought it was a weird thing from a, not that, of course there were massive nerves for Bryson, I'm sure, but it also is such a different thing than what Rory was going through, right? Where it felt like Rory's, I don't know, Rory had to be walking to that first tee a little bit like, oh my God, what if I miss another putt at Pinehurst? I'm sure that's not how Bob Rotella was talking to him about thinking, but I feel like Bryson had to come into this thing as just like, oh my God, I get to go toe to toe in the last group of the Masters today. And he just seemed like he'd be more up for the fight, but maybe he was fighting the swing, or who knows. There was one comment in there about when he missed left. I think he was talking about like, that's what I was talking about on the range.
Yeah.
Which again was like, I kind of was shitting on the range tracker a little bit, but just knowing like, dog, didn't you hit like 1,500 golf balls this week is, that's just interesting context, I think, to put in the notebook for events going forward. But
that's what freaks me out, guys. Like I went to the range this week, and then I played the next day. I played so bad. I was like, I'm never practicing again. This is awful.
Which I'm sure it is. Like he was struggling and like trying to find something is probably why we end up that total. It still was an absurd total, and like honestly, it seemed like he was trying to win that battle.
Did you guys hear the story that Colt told this morning about Bryson? Kind of restless last night, struggling to wind down, so he went on a walk around the neighborhood and stumbled upon somebody, Airbnb or whatever it was. There, people putting in the backyard.
I heard it was Friday night
for a couple minutes or a couple hours. Friday night?
I heard it was Friday night, and the details were wrong. But Yeah, he was playing with like a 74-degree wedge out there, which is sick.
Do you make anything of this crowd being way more pro Rory than we experienced at Pinehurst last year?
It's a pretty
where it
blue
felt like
blood
it was
crowd,
pro
right?
Bryson. Yeah,
That makes sense for one, like people wanting to be there to witness like history. Like Bryson winning a Masters would be cool to see, but it's not historic in the sense of Rory completing the career Grand Slam as one, and two, like a little bit more on the hooligan side, probably at the U.S. Open than at Augusta. So
I would say accessible, maybe it's a little more accessible to the people.
And not much of a chance to kind of whip themselves into a frenzy for kind of that other storyline. I think
this
asked
felt
this,
like Bryson was going on the road, and he just wasn't.
Bryson was. I do think
big dog.
Yeah.
Can I ask
props
this question
to Bryson for like the 4 and 5 footers or like the 5 and 6 footers?
So good.
He's nails on those.
That's crazy, man. It just seems like he's gonna miss all of them, and he got there dead center.
Like
The arm lock still rubs me wrong, though.
Should be illegal.
Yeah. I think so too.
Yeah, for sure. Well, and like shout out to Bernhard for retiring from the Masters this year. Maybe we can finally do it.
We asked this on the preview. We did an exercise of will blank win a major. I don't even remember what I said for Bryson, but I want to have that conversation again tonight, like to put on the record. Like, will Bryson win a Masters in his career? Because I think my answer is yes, and I want to get that in with the recency of having just watched him on this golf course. If he has a decent week with the irons, and I get it, single length off uneven lies, like there's probably an issue here, but like the dude figures stuff out. Like he goes back into the lab and like solves stuff. And the course fit is outrageous with the way he drives the golf ball and how smooth he is on the greens. Kind of made me feel like, dude, it kind of feels inevitable that he's going to win one of these things. I feel differently
prestige worldwide. He's doing the science.
I feel differently than like when he called it a par 67, how he played this golf course. Like he kind of seems to have figured out how to play this golf course.
Yeah. I guess I would be a touch surprised if he went. I don't. There's just something about him that I never feel comfortable with him around Augusta.
I do think like Sally. I think like he's got to be one of the top 3 favorites to win at Quail Hollow.
That I can get down with for sure.
Yeah.
In the interest of being provocative, I'm going to say no, he doesn't do it. I think your case is very well reasoned, but I still think there's too many weird quirks, and I don't see it.
I just also see like, all right, you got Xander, Scotty, Spieth, like seems to be coming. Rory,
you guys got Mickelson,
Ludwig, yeah, Mickelson.
Lucas Glover might win next year.
But all right, is it time to talk Ludwig?
TC, I would ask you the same question.
Yeah, I think it's time. He competed with his, I would say, B- game today. I don't want to overstate how poorly he played the first 3 rounds, but just didn't quite have it. The putter kind of let him down on the stretch. 18 was obviously an anomaly. He lit $700,000 on fire there, but I think everything kind of goes out the window when you're trying to make. He's trying to make birdie, or he's trying to hole it on 18, and he hits the lip of the bunker, and it's kind of that's not really representative. The 3-putt on 17 was his first of the week, which is really disappointing.
First putt. Oh my god!
But even like, and even like I think on 2 today, like that kind of summed up his week for me, because he was, he drove it in the tree. He didn't drive it great this week. He kind of drove it in the trees on 2 today, and then punches out, and he's got a very, very comfortable wedge in his hand, and just gets hung up on the back bank on 2. And he did that all day on Saturday. He must have gone long on, it was like watching Neil out there. He must have gone long on 6 of 8 or 6 of 9 holes at one point. But it was just missing his spots by not very much, but but he was still right there towards the end. So I think it's more experience in the bank. I was really, really proud of the way he putted yesterday, especially. And I thought the putt on 7 was going to go down today. Clean card there until 11. We can talk about some of the design stuff there, but same thing both with Rory and with Ludwig down the right side of 11. But I thought that was a really disciplined play from him. laying up on 11.
If people miss that, what was this?
Yeah, so he there's this like godforsaken trees down the right side. There's
I will disagree with you on this take, by the way.
You don't you like the trees?
It's better than how it was when it was just all trees over there. Now it introduces some temptation, some variability over there. Like
Rory almost got caught with his hand in the cookie jar because
seriously
of that.
Yeah, well, I mean, Sully, do you want to say something about shaving that bank down a little bit more, similar to TPC
it was
River
going slow
Highlands?
enough. It was going slow enough.
Oh
god, that was a crowning. Yeah, no, I don't know. I think they could do some things to like orient that green to make the angle matter a little bit more. To like, all right, if you want to go up the left side, you're going to be rewarded. If you want to bail up the right, you're going to have to either lay up way to the right or contend with these mounds and worry about running into the water. Here.
That's how it is. Like that's literally that's
how I want that to be even
hole.
more magnified, so you can take out the trees and don't have to worry about that. The right, like the right side should just be wide open. It's like cool if you want to like chicken out and hit it over there, be my guest. The tee shot on 12 really bugged me. It just felt really uncommitted. He hit a really good second shot into 13, and then yeah, I mean he was just he was right there, man. I mean, he hit an awesome shot. 15. I wanted a little bit better from him on 15 in there. He was up above that bunker. Good birdie there. And then 16, he played the par threes really, really well for the most part today. I thought that the shot that he hit into 4 today was exceptional. Didn't make the putt. Made a birdie on 6, which was one of the better birdies all day. And then hit an absolute seed into 16. And I wish he could have given that a better run, that putt.
I mean, he went long with the green on 16. Like he was on the back fringe. He
was on the back fringe. He had a 12-footer.
Yeah, like got put through the overseed. Like that was a tough putt. I'll say this about Ludwig.
Really
I'm going to count this as a top 5. He finished 7th. This was a top 5 performance. Triple on 18. Kind of throw that out. I would say top 5, definitely top 10s, top 5s, top 8s at Augusta. Like not even in question for me for Ludwig. That just seems like standard.
And when it syncs up, it's gonna happen, right?
No, that's that I'm not willing to like say out loud yet. That's where I'm like, well, let's just not crown him too early here. Like, he's got some questions still to answer. It's his second Masters, got all the time in the world. Just not too early of a crowning to say like I still Ludwig's in contention so often. It just seems like he hits the gas and goes and gets it infrequently for how often he's in contention, and that's something that we're just monitoring. He's young, and we could look back in the next 20. He could win 5 times the next 20 starts, and that question will be answered. But that question has not been answered just yet, and I think that's
it's been a weird year. I think for him, it's been obviously he played well at the Genesis, but I think overall like it doesn't seem like he's had his best stuff, and he's kind of learned how to be gritty and grind through it. He certainly didn't have his best stuff this week, so I think when he syncs it up, like. Watch out, because I think he's going to go on a sustained, prolonged run.
But it's also worth noting, like somebody like P, like Rose, and I would definitely put Ludwig in this category of like having an Augusta course fit is one of the great assets you can have for your career. Look at somebody a very accomplished player, but like Justin Thomas, like never plays this tournament well, like never. And like Ludwig shows up and he's right there immediately is like a great sign.
Yeah. That's been noodling in my brain. Like if you're not a good course fit at Augusta, I feel like that's almost disqualifying as like being one of the best of like I don't know. It just puts you a tier below like any,
who's like the all-time
best player of the
generation worst course like
Trevino.
Yeah, I was gonna say like Trevino's the all-time kind of most out of balance with his legacy versus his.
I mean, I think he had a lot of good finishes. He just never won, right?
He had 6.
Ernie
won 6 majors.
I mean, Ernie was close, but obviously never got it done.
Yeah,
it just feels like it's a course, obviously, that the guys see every year. It's the only major championship that they see every year, and it's I don't know the way I would equate it to like any other sport, right? Like a quarterback. Can you just throw a certain defense at a quarterback and they can't handle it? Or, hey, can you go double Jokic and he does it? I don't know. It's like, if you're actually that good of a golfer, you should be able to figure out Augusta.
Totally agree, Big.
The biggest compliment I can pay Ludwig TC is purely eye test. I continue to just love his presence. Like that's what shines through
Smiling.
To me
He's just
the way he
he's
carries
like, enjoys
himself
it.
is so impressive. Yeah.
I take it back on the Trevino front. Only finished in the top 10 twice.
In 20 starts. Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize it was that bad.
He won 2 of every other major. So yeah. I mean, it was a different era at Augusta, and
probably a little,
the race stuff was not nothing in that time
sure.
period.
For sure. He's talked about that. Yeah,
for sure. For sure.
Johnny never won there either, right?
He never won a Masters.
No. What was his record?
What's Rory going to serve next year?
I think it was so. I think Rory. I mean, Augusta's got one of the best wine cellars in the world. I think supposedly there's a bottle of Bordeaux that I think it was Thomas Jefferson's bottle. I'm Rory. I'm grabbing that bottle and saying, "Give me Thomas." I think Eisenhower had this bottle and then all that. Give me that bottle. And
we'll send you the bill for that too at Augusta.
Exactly.
That's not on the house.
Yeah, but honestly, dude, the bill is like you want to talk about dollar cost averaging?
You get it at cost. You get it with what
they
TJ
send their
pays?
SOM out every year with I don't know $5-10 million to all the first growth and premier spots over in France and elsewhere. And I mean they literally just keep it pegged to inflation. They don't keep it's the craziest costing I've ever seen on that wine list. So
Johnny Miller 3 runners up at Augusta.
Okay.
Dang.
Yeah.
Can we? All right. Can I get on the leaderboard?
Yeah. You better start with somebody at T8 because
I know
you gotta hate it to him.
Disappointment of the week. Zach Johnson.
I mean, dude,
T8 -5.
I'll just salute that, man. 5 under par. He finished 6 back of Rory as he won his first green jacket. So 66-71 on the weekend. Like, hell yeah, man. And I don't know where else was going to
rated the patrons last year and told them to fuck off.
That was sick. Also, I respect that.
He should be banned for life. The biased stare.
I don't know where else this is going to fit into the show other than like the way the scoring works at Augusta. And I mentioned that I've hinted this already of like how you're almost never out of it. Like you can I don't know how to describe this, but the way the scoring works and how you can play your way back into this tournament almost when it seems like you're completely gone is like number 85 on the list of why this is the greatest golf tournament in the world. And it's so sick. Like it is awesome that a player that can hit it that short he almost beat Bryson, which is like truly incredible.
He made the cut on the number too. He finished
awesome.
T8. Like and Solly to that point too, like it's almost like rally scoring or like tilt a little.
Yeah.
like our tilt game where you can get over aggressive and get caught with your hand in the cookie jar so fast and then you're back to square one. It's like, no, like you're going to jail and you got to give up $200 to come back,
It's crazy as you go through this, TC. It's crazy how reliably once the cut gets made, some weird stuff happens Thursday, Friday. Some guys miss the cut, whatever. It's so crazy the leaderboard gravity of like how the top 20 players in the world end up in the top 20. Just like there were 3 guys in here that I was like scrolling through. I'm just like, God, Xander T8, holy shit! Like John Rahm, of course, Spieth, of course. Like it's crazy how they all just kind of eventually settle in, in those good Wikipedia spots.
Jason Day, T8.
Great.
Speaking of T8, 70, 70, 71, 72. Faded a little bit round 3 and 4, but I think Jason Day is going to win another major. And I don't know where it's going to happen. But I think he played such tidy golf this week. And I think he's looking great doing it too. The Malbon stuff, it's just freaking working, man. Like they kind of threw out the whole hey, look at all this attention over here, and it's just like, no, I'm just gonna show up and I'm gonna look good and fresh and clean and all that. So
this is a night full of you got to hand it to him on a lot of different fronts in that top 10.
Yeah. No, but he's playing great golf, and I think a place like Oakmont or Portrush is going to suit him really well. And Corey Connors,
I think he's on the Jason Day front too. I wonder if he's I don't know. He doesn't get as much run as Rory, so I feel like we don't get as many interviews and get as many questions and whatever. But like his game must have evolved in a massive way, like a massively similar way, right? Like he was such a power player who just made
Power
so many
putting.
putts, you know, and like he has to have reinvented himself a little bit over the last decade, you know, and it's interesting to see those guys.
Sorry Connors, as you've you've labeled him before.
God, his putter was terrible.
Bory Connors.
TC, I want to congratulate you personally on the missed 1 footer on number 1. I know that was that's how we knew it was going to be. That's how we knew it was going to be a day today.
Listen, I want to give a shout out to this lady Nancy up in Western Prince Edward Island.
That was a sick.
She keeps sending me emails, really, really nasty emails. She called me a fucking moron last night.
That was sick. I don't know. I gotta hear both sides.
I think she's like the president of the tourism board in Western. Like she's like a, you know, reputable figure up there. She's like, you're a typical American. Like you're a piece of shit. All this stuff. Like, whoa, Nancy. I emailed her today, and I was like, Nancy, easy on the Chardonnay. How we feeling today? And she's like, no, it's Sauvignon Blanc. It's not Chardonnay.
She's gonna be apologizing.
Corey Connors did exactly what we thought Corey Connors was gonna do. Play really well this week, not make any putts on the weekend, and finish top 10.
Yeah,
like it was preordained.
Remember him for your Masters pool next year. You know, kind of a group C, group D type of selection. It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
The guy does flush it. It's very nice to watch.
Yeah,
it's crazy though. The thing that I just kept thinking watching Corey Connors was like, he is so close, but yet there is a Pacific Ocean sized gulf between him actually competing and winning a Masters.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, Randy, like, would you, all right, if you had to pick between Corey Connors and Tommy Fleetwood,
Tommy Lee Fleetwood,
who are you picking?
TC, I think they're more similar than you might like to think.
Oh, no.
Can I tell you how hard I was laughing at the
Corey
the
Connors
Tommy
doesn't
Lee
have any
Westwood
BDEs
this week? I made this one from No Country for Old Men on the Tommy Lee Westwood. Really made me laugh.
Speaking of Tommy, can we bring up the Frankie Fleetwood?
God,
stuff?
that was awesome.
I mean, I hate nobody.
Shot on the 9th tee.
Oh.
Play it now if you're ready. Frankie Fleetwood. This is with Sky Sports earlier, so just want to make sure we're good there.
This next shot on the 9th tee.
Well, I've been doing my hardest to get it over the green. I've been practicing as hard as I can. Just not reaching it this year, but I'm just trying my hardest.
You've got this, Frankie. You're going to hit this green.
Oh my God. It's a heart melter.
Bigger stars than you guys.
training already.
Just the facial expressions in that interview were it was awesome. Just I'm trying my hardest.
Trying my hardest.
And Tommy's trying his hardest too, guys. Okay, so fucking lay off of him. All right?
We need to play that if Tommy dunks one in the water in a key spot in the majors.
Couldn't hit it over this year, but
working
my hardest.
Trying my hardest.
Well, I mean, Frankie had just been born solid when we were in Abu Dhabi with
7
him,
years ago.
and you know, similar age to Freddie, my son. I don't know. Tommy's the best, man. Like, and Tommy was waiting there. Like, you can shit on that all you want, but Tommy was waiting for Rory afterwards.
We're shitting
Massive
on
Tommy fans.
Always clarifying.
Yeah, always shitting on you.
Always
that's well
clarifying.
Yeah, it's never about Tommy.
Couldn't be much of a bigger Tommy Fleetwood fan. I hope he wins 8 majors, honestly.
Speaking of flushing, you know, Corey Connors is a flusher. HE. 68 today. Shot 284 this week. 4 under. HE.
Exempt into next year. Somebody who's had some injury and some dips in world ranking and all that stuff. It's got to be nice to walk off and know you're exempt for next year. And speaking of which, exempt for next year. It's made a sweat into this year. Max Homa T12. Where are the haters at?
I'm a dog.
With a double on 17 too. Like could have been better, and came in fighting it. New caddy, all that stuff. And I mean, Max should have been probably T7 if he doesn't make that double there late. So immensely proud of him. I think there's good things in the offing, and he's not full of shit when he says he's hitting it well. He's flushing it. Like some of the shots on the back 9 today, some of those irons, like fearless swings of, you know what, like go get it.
Hopefully somebody picked up on our on the ground reporting from Sunday when first person we see was him on the ground. He just walked off the 9th green and he said he missed an 8-footer on 9 to shoot 28 on the front. Hopefully somebody got a top 20 action. Leave it in the comments if you did.
Bubba T14. I think you got to hand it to him.
Did not see that one coming.
Yeah, you got to hand it to him.
Yeah, 100%.
Bubba, a really interesting group at T14. Bubba, Rom, Spieth, Hatton, McCarty, Hoagie, and Morikawa.
Where is the cutoff for you guys for like it's the Masters, it's a limited field. This finish is not as impressive as it sounds because it like T14 is where I'd flag right here. Of
think,
like
It's like a T30. 68 on a pretty tough golf course today.
Yeah, I look at McCarty. Shout out TC. I know I gave him a drive-by, I think on Friday, maybe. Like his T14, super impressive. Some of the others, Colin, even Jort, like
it does nothing for me. That's my point.
Like Colin should be embarrassed. 72-69, 72-72. Like that. Like you guys shit on, a Sung Jae or Tommy or whatever. Like Morikawa's played some of the best golf in the world this year, and it's just not there. And I want to see more, and like I want to see Colin win Oakmont. That's what I want to see. I'm gonna put my finger in his chest and I'll say, I want to see you win Oakmont. You're a premium iron player. You are the biggest dick iron player in the world. I want to see you win at Oakmont.
Isn't Oakmont gonna be Bomber's delight? Like without the trees.
I think they're going to grow.
I don't know. The rough, I'm sure, will be.
But as soon as you say they're going to grow the rough up, that only plays into that, right? Like,
sure. Yeah, you're right.
I feel like Bryson. I know it's, that'd be three U.S. Opens in this decade, but I don't know, man. It doesn't.
Versus, and I guess it's a commentary on Spieth that I'm going to like pat him on the head and be like, "Oh, T14 for Spieth." Like, hell yeah, brother. Like we're back,
same kind of thing. I mean, it's like it's great. Would
Played
rather
well on
have
the
that
weekend.
than missing the cut, but hopefully found something.
He must
5 under on the weekend.
He must have got a lot of mud balls in the fairway this week because he was minus 1.33 average on strokes gained approach, which is the worst of anybody in the top. God, that might have been worst of anybody that made the cut. Like he was, that's worst of anybody that made the cut.
Hatton, I think Hatton. Like, do you think Hatton wins a major?
No.
I'm going to say no. I think it'd be way more fun to be on the side of no for this one.
Yeah. Doesn't strike me as having the temperament.
Kind of feel like he had a bit of a window there for a while where it wouldn't have scared me, but it doesn't. I don't know if we're going in the right direction.
Guys, just back on Spieth. He's got 2 wins in like the last 7+ years on tour. Like, what are we doing?
Yep.
TC,
Careful. They called me a bad guy when I pointed that out, Randy.
Can we put a bony finger in Spieth's chest? Like, come on,
Are Spieth
dog.
and Hoagie the same player these days?
Back on Hatton,
the same players.
Hatton's got 1 top 5 in 38 majors, 6 top 10s in 38 majors. He's only got 13 top 25s. Get out.
I mean, that's 5 more than the Blow Pig.
Blow Pig's won a major.
Still. Yeah. The Blow Pig hasn't validated his major. What else we got? Yeah, Hoagie. We gotta give a shout out to him.
Escrow.
And then we've got T21 group, Matsuyama, Davis, Riley Davis, Fleetwood. I know Fleetwood broke some hearts down the stretch with a bogey on 15 to kind of take him out of the running for a top 20. That crushed a lot of top 20 accumulators.
Yeah, that's
huge. DB straight was vibing pretty hard today for a little bit. I think I'm buying. I continue to buy up stock. Dollar cost averaging solid on DB straight vibing. Ben on pretty good final 3 rounds. Hovland completely spit the bit. 73-73 on the weekend. Hate it.
Will you?
Yeah, I'll listen. I'll apologize. Neither leg of the Scandinavian Supernova play hit. Stolly, any apologies to TI-83?
Absolutely not. T27 is a very hard course for him to compete on. He did not compete on it. I apologize for nothing that was said there.
He beat the likes of Sahith Tagala, Joaquin Neiman.
I'm off Sahith right now.
JT, the Pat
Neiman, Randy, I know you're amped that Neiman's still looking for that first top 10.
Yeah, like Hey, does Mickelson want to apologize? You want to come in here, dog? You want to apologize for anything? I mean, get out.
Lehman
You're
just
just
needs
not
to go win
serious.
it.
You're just not
He just
serious.
Needs to go win
yet.
an Open Championship. Just do that. Rasmus, like Matt McNeely, T32. I was expecting a little bit better from him. Sahith continues to confound me. I'm officially worried about Sahith. Rasmus, T32. Max Grazerman, good debut from him, I would say. Harmon made the cut despite a 71, 71, 77, 71. Cantlay, just too many Delta commitments this week. What else
I think
we got?
Pat's
Akshay.
going back to that earlier discussion, I think Cantlay's kind of low key under the
notice?
microscope too. Yeah.
And that's where, Randy, I think we get to those age-old truths of like the only thing worse than criticism is people just not talking about you.
Exactly.
You know, and I think that's kind of where we're at with him.
I think Randy might start buying up some of those. Was it Apollo or BlackRock that was doing the death? They were betting. They were doing the death stuff.
The death stuff.
I'm sure they're both in it now. It's easy.
The death stuff.
They're shorting death.
Yeah, they were basically shorting people's like they were doing all sorts of life insurance
insurance policies or something.
Shane Lowry 81 today after getting really bitchy. Yesterday.
I thought that was kind of fair. I kind of rode with Shane a little bit on that. Did you watch the whole thing?
I did. Yeah.
I was kind of
that was very much like, like some of you guys do need to be asking better questions.
And his
what happened?
If you missed it, he was doing media, and I think he got a couple questions about Rory, and he basically said like, "Look, guys, I'm not gonna just sit here and answer questions about Rory for 15 minutes. Like I'm trying to win the golf tournament too," because he was still very much in it. And then a couple other questions. He basically he kind of quoted all the Colin stuff, and he was like, "Look, listen, I love talking to the media. It's all good. But I am thinking like we should probably have 30 minutes because I just finished bogey. I'm super mad. I probably already said something stupid, and now I'm just going to keep saying stupid things." And he's like, "Actually, you know what? I think I'm good. Thank you guys. We'll see you tomorrow." And then he walked away. And I was like, "Oh my God. Yeah,
props to him for showing up."
Yeah.
Right.
Talked us through his process. Then he did shoot 81 today, unfortunately.
Yeah. Randy, couple of guys that are on notice for me. The Blow Pig.
Sure.
T46. Sam Burns as well. I think it's time for Sam Burns to kind of let's shit or get off the pot. Those are two guys for me that are like, all right, like you guys can feed on PGA Tour setups and all that, but let's see it in a major.
Proper G.
Yeah, some G. Nico Echevarria shot 84 today after his 69 yesterday.
Oh, I missed that.
Which he's a Jacksonville guy. Don't want to drive by him. You know who finished DFL? The guys who made the cut.
Two guys did.
Two guys did. Yeah. T for DFL.
D's FL.
I'm gonna guess Tom Kim.
He did. Yeah, 79 today.
Hate that.
Hate that. Hate it. So anyway, that's the down the leaderboard. I also do want to give a shout out again to Nick Dunlap for not mailing it in on Friday. That was one of the most Herculean things I've seen in quite a while. Koala Carl, we'll see what happens there with the whole girlfriend breaking. The girlfriend was scrubbed from Dunlap's socials and all of that. She's bad news. Both of them need to stay away from her.
I missed
past the 2-hour mark is the best part of the major spots.
I'm going to whip this around. Some updates here. We did me, TC, and Randy did a little pre-tournament. 11 bets head-to-head of different guys.
I forgot about that.
That was this year?
I hit 7 of 11. Randy hit 7 of 11. TC hit 6 of 11. It was very close. The Lowry one really flipped. Lowry was up 8 going on Hideki going into today and did not beat him. So that one hurt me a little bit.
Okay.
The winners draft that we did this year, KVV had Rory to win the BMW championship. So he gets a point or 2. I forget how the system works, but he gets something for that. TC had Scotty Scheffler to win this week back at the beginning. And I will say for the Pro Golf Fantasy Draft that me
on the draft, I had Scotty to win.
Correct. The winners
draft.
Yeah, the winners draft.
I
had Ludwig, I believe, to win. Yeah.
No, you picked Hovland to
Or
win this
Hovland,
week.
yeah,
Because you
okay.
changed it from Ludwig.
You
but-
did have a Ludwig, but then you changed it after the graphics were built. It picked Hovland.
Doesn't sound like TC.
So around Bay Hill last year, we did a Pro Golf fantasy draft that we made up a point system. Me, Neil, and TC. And you get to keep guys for 6 years. For the next 6 years, how many points you're going to get? You guys let me get Scotty, Rory, Xander, and Bryson, which means I've won all 5 of the majors since we started that one. So
early in this.
Good. We're so early in this, man.
early.
I got the horses in the
asteroid's
back.
not in play still.
So yeah, that one. Those are the updates. If you left a comment on our happy hour, I think it was our happy hour or it was our preview. It was the happy hour or one of the two. If you left a comment making a bunch of picks, I said whoever gets the most picks right gets a gift card. You're going to have to do your own research on this one. If you got like 10 out of 11, alert me to it. Email me something. I'll go back and flip through some of them. I'm not going to comb through all of them. But if you think you won, anybody that emails in the answer of like, yeah, I got 9 out of 11 or whatever, whoever claims the best score that gets verified is going to win a gift card, a gift money to the shop.
Yes, I just want to confirm. Once you tell us, we will verify it. That
It's going to verify. 100%.
Trust would verify.
Yes,
of course.
I will verify it, but you got to come
bingo
to your
game.
prize first. Yeah,
Must be present to win.
exactly.
Sort of situation.
Anything
No
we want
purchase
to,
necessary.
anything we want to empty the chamber on, anything we want to kind of.
I got some parting thoughts.
Yeah, DJ, there were some John Legend appearances this week.
Yeah, I
Mr.
feel like I've said
Unlimited,
everything I need to say about John Legend.
Russell Wilson launched a golf brand this week. Good Man Golf. Randy, I know he's your guy.
Good
Noah
set up with that.
Noah Khan or Kahan or Khan. He did a rendition of Georgia.
Yeah. Solly and I covered that in the back nine a couple weeks ago. People were just mad as hell about that.
And they still mad as hell.
I think they brought in John Legend to kind of stabilize the formula a little bit, which is probably a good move by then. Yeah.
I got a couple call outs real quick, Sully. Not to go full Amsterdam here, but it appears that the tracers were a little off on CBS's package.
Tracers were not abundant. They were missing at some pretty key times. And are you saying they were off like on the actual illustrations?
No, they're MIA.
Yeah, like they were missing some tracers out there, I thought. And they have a little tendency, I don't know if it's Augusta thing or CBS thing, they have a tendency to give you a really bad camera angle on some of the most key shots. Like I just need a tracer on 12, and they never do tracer on 12. And some key moments, like they go away from the tracer, which I don't like. But I will say, I thought CBS captured the drama of today 10 out of 10. Like they were all over.
Except for IBF. IBF calling him Ludwig Iceberg.
Yeah,
I stand with that. I actually was like, oh, that's cool. I gotta write that down. And then he went bogey triple after that.
That was I thought they covered the Rory stuff magnificently.
Titanic.
The wedge into 13, they were all over, just roasting him on that. Trevor, like all over the putt.
Yes.
This putt does not break left, and sure enough, Rory misses it right. The enormity of the shot into 15 was captured really well. 17, that shot in there, it was really, really good.
The whole walk, Rory's walk from
they didn't say a
5
word
minutes
the whole
of
walk.
silence.
They probably could have
on the Trevor front. Sorry, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say on the Trevor front. I mean, I think this is his 3rd year doing it, and it seems like he's been doing it for 15. And I hope he does it for another 50. Like he is,
I like Trev,
the GOAT already at like adding value, adding perspective, doing the research. Like he's awesome. Can't say
Again, for a guy too who like absolutely could be playing in this tournament.
Yeah, totally.
If he wanted to, and it's like, nope, I like this.
Oh, he's got the arthritic
more.
feet.
Yeah.
Well, of course, but I mean, he absolutely could.
He should wear the green jacket during the broadcast. I think
that's a good call.
Yeah.
I had three parting thoughts, if you'll allow it.
Yeah.
I was struck this week by how Augusta can deliver an experience to such a wide variety of fans, like both like within, let's just take within factions of golf fans, like architecture nerds and strategy nerds and shot value nerds, that I would put myself in that category. This is like 10 out of 10 week, just absolutely geek the fuck out. The golf fan that just like likes it green and pretty stuff, like this is like the greatest week of the year. Like a casual sports fan, like if you're going to watch golf, it's going to be this one. Like not even like sports fans just in general, even if you're not a golf fan, like you're going to want to flip this on and get it. Moms, grandmoms, like aunts, uncles, like the family aspect tie into it. Like the fact that it's just such a bucket list like experience to go see in person, one, and be there, and two, just to watch on television. Like it might be an obvious take, but that was a big takeaway for me of like they literally hit they hit everything. It's not perfect. Like there's some syrupy stuff that I think is, it kind of can rub me the wrong way at times, but like, dude, it delivers, and it's like the greatest thing we have in the golf world in terms of a tournament. That's one. Don't want this to get in the way of conversation during the course of the week and enjoying it. It's completely fucking ridiculous that they lengthened 14 of the 18 holes, moved a road, bought a hole from an adjacent golf course, and Rory and Bryson still blow it over bunkers and hit wedges into par fours and mid irons and par fives. Totally lost the plot on technology. Don't know how that doesn't stick out to everybody. Again, I don't want to spend the whole week harping on that, but like, it's a joke. It's a complete joke that it's gotten to this far, and it's only going to continue to get worse. I know the rollback's coming.
Which shout out to Augusta for being
with the
adult
USGA
in
and
the
RNA.
room on that with the USGA. I think the Augusta USGA ties are stronger than they've ever been. Like there's a green jacket on one of the USGA or like the USGA executive committee, Jim Gorey now. And I don't know. I just think there's props to Augusta for being the bulwark against all the bullshit.
Yeah, that's not me ripping on them for lengthening the holes. It's like ripping the technology management over the last 25 years. And lastly, this is going to be a hard one to get through without you guys calling me Super H on this one. It was a cool week at Augusta. So like sweaters, pants. This is not a Super H comment. I want to compliment the ladies that attended the Masters this year. Some of the classiest and greatest styles I've seen. Awesome hats, plaids, crispy sweaters. Like everybody was just like, out there.
It's like
vibing.
Wimbledon.
It was fantastic. I salute you. I tip my cap to the style of the women that were attending the Masters because it was 10 out of 10.
I appreciate sharing that.
Yeah, that's great and on the ground insight, Sully. Hey, couple things because you were there in person. Obviously, Augusta got torn apart by a really bad storm. How do you think the course played? How do you think the telecast showed off? We mentioned a couple times them close to showing a couple angles that they weren't supposed to, but overall, what were your guys' thoughts?
I thought it played better than ever, and I thought some of the tree loss was a net gain.
I'd say all of it was, honestly.
Yeah.
I mean, for a tournament like a course like this that is so most of the experience on the course is about the in-person fan experience. Like you do want trees out there for shade when it gets to be 85 degrees, but like other than that, they don't need the trees. Like didn't need the tree behind 11. The trees being gone behind 15 are great. Thinned out left of 10 is great. Like you can just see a little bit more of the golf course. It flows a lot better. I'm sure
I think they should shave that entire bank left of 10. Like, cool. If you want to like miss 10 left, you're going to be 70 yards down the hill. You're going to be in the woods.
You're gonna be back by 11T.
Yeah.
No, I thought it was great. I don't care that you can see Augusta Country Club. I'm sure that they'll have that part fixed in advance of next year. But I don't think it matters that you can. It'd be a silly thing to worry about. But
and I think 13 played better this year than it did last year. Like it seemed like there was more. I think if they hadn't have lengthened it, Rory's probably hitting a towering driver.
Yeah.
Left, and he's in it, and either hitting a mindless pitch out or even being able to get there regardless of whether he's in the pine straw or not. Whereas I feel like it actually brought drama back. So almost like a mea culpa there of, hey, like I was a little bit harsh on it last year of like it made it more one note, but I think
they didn't get that wind direction that made 13 and 15 into the wind, which they did get last year, which made the holes kind of dull. Like they didn't get that severity.
I forgot about that.
Which should there be more optionality on maybe a couple holes as far as tee boxes go? Yeah, probably.
That is a flaw at Augusta. Yeah.
But also even, I don't know. I think the coolest thing about Augusta is the fact that holes like 3, regardless of technology and all of that, the more technology gets out of control, the cooler 3 gets.
TC, you're going to freaking love this. Today, 3 ended up being the 6th hardest hole, but it was like the 3rd hardest hole at one point. It averaged over par today at 350 yards.
Yeah. That pin's so gross.
And I think we're getting to the point too same thing with 9, and I wish they would bring back a little bit more of that boomerang craziness to that green with the original, kind of iteration there. But like guys are, I mean, Ludwig had 78 or 80 yards in there today. Rory had, and like that's a terrifying little shot in there, especially with where the pin is today. Of just, hey, you got to worry about that slope, and then when the pin goes back, you got to worry about going long. Like I love 9. I think 9 is going to be a grower over the next couple of years as they realize kind of what they've got there.
Randy, one big change today, you being our resident funnel pin expert. What'd you think of 16?
Yeah, I didn't end up maybe like loving the new pin as much as I thought I would when I saw the pin sheet this morning. I was glad for a little mix up. But yeah, I guess, I don't know. It take it or leave it.
Yeah, I thought it was fine. It was whatever.
It was
I thought the
fine.
golf course
Yeah.
played awesome, honestly. I mean, it was really, really good setup. I mean, for not getting very much wind, it was not a turkey shootout there.
Yeah.
What if you were to nominate a hole you think it's likely to be lengthened? I mean, they quietly lengthened some stuff almost on a year-to-year basis. There was no new tees this year, I don't think. But what would come to mind? Because it might be 9 for me. I don't know if there's space to do that, but like just like Rory bombing it over all the trouble and just laying at the bottom of the hill kind of felt like a little cheap. But
yeah,
we could think on that. I mean,
that's where I think that green, you almost make that green a little bit like, you just make it a little bit more shallow or a little bit more narrow, and I think that gets interesting. Yeah, but I mean, solid to your point, like that was pretty benign conditions overall as far as wind goes. And like I feel like every other major we're rooting for wind. Like, oh man, if there's no wind, like we're fucked. Like it's gonna be a turkey shoot. And this place, I think the wind coming along Thursday and Friday to kind of dry things out was good, but like that was as benign as it probably could have been from a wind perspective, and it was spectacular Saturday and Sunday. So I mean, Solly, are they doing something behind 12 to make it like there's an arm that's just forcing balls out of the bushes there, but also just like making it really, really hard to get up and down from back there. Like, I don't know if it's the way they're mowing stuff or
can't be that hard. I got up and down from back there. I mean, it can't be that hard, but
you got up and down from the bunker. No, I'm saying from
it's even harder,
from the grass.
I
over
couldn't.
on the left.
They don't let anybody pass there. I did not see anything different back there. It didn't notice a whole lot to the eye test. But all right, we're closing in on 2.5 hours. Any final parting thoughts here before we end up back at Rory and his legacy? Because I think if we keep going, we'll probably end up back there.
I think good week from Adidas. I thought the Adidas guys look sharp. People were shitting on Ludwig's pleated pants, but I thought the overall fit, Randy and I were talking about that today, the overall fit was pretty close. Nike, I thought, was just spit the bit this week. Really, really uninspired. A lot of weird browns and just bad tailoring, I think. The fireballs continue to slap. Solly, I'll stand with you. I'll stand proudly on that block with you. The Sergio look. And then we got to get rid of the pimento hats. It's bad.
And the skip it hats.
Yeah, skip it, pimento,
azalea.
That shit is over, man.
When the tweets were really flying, I forget who said this. Somebody's like, "I'm surprised Rory didn't skip it off the pond on 16." That got me good. Like for the flood of emotions from 13 to 15, like that one got me really good.
I don't know. Great week, man.
Awesome. I mean, this is easily a record for most live viewers we've ever had during a single show. Like it probably doubles any other live major show. I think when Rom left for Live, I think it was the first time we cracked 10,000 live people watching the show. I think I saw it creep about. I don't know if it touched 20K
moment for golf,
but yeah, this is. I mean, this is truly like a gosh. I mean, the chase for the Grand Slam has been going on for as long as we've been doing this, and pretty remarkable moment to cover. Remarkable to have been there this past week. And guess what? We got more to come. because I think whatever Neil and KVV have cooking up is going to be freaking awesome. So you can expect that on Tuesday. And I think it got a whole heck of a lot better based on what happened out there today. So stay subscribed. Subscribe hard. Subscribe to the No Laying Up YouTube channel, which you're on right now. Subscribe to the No Laying Up podcast channel as well. That's where our smash that like button, as well as Cody is telling me as well. Subscribe on Spotify, on Apple Podcasts, wherever you get them. We really greatly appreciate that. And if you want more bonus content, you can always feel free to join the nest. That you can do that at nolayingup.com/join. That's our community of avid golfers that help us support our content, from our deep dive episodes, our special projects, to get access to Nest exclusive content. You get 15% off the shop. It's incredible, the offerings in there. So nolayingup.com/join if you want to get involved with that.
Hey, one more housekeeping thing. Strap trailer this week. Look out for that.
So many people came up to us on the grounds and just didn't even say hi. Just like, hey, when we need a strap. Got to have a strap. When's it coming? Watching Neil hit him with the date was like, and watching their faces, like, really? It's coming? So they're very
out of respect for Mr. Palmer's, green jackets. We didn't want to drop it this week, but look for that. Look for that this coming week.
And if you like this content, guess what? We're going to be back Wednesday.
We got a happy hour.
Honestly, there's a lot to unpack.
For sure.
Still,
it's always fun to sit after major for a couple days.
Like, I'm always a little bit jealous. And I think like that's the thing. I think Rory's been such a, I don't know, everything kind of running parallel. And he was really important to this podcast coming up. He kind of lent us credibility and came on and said, hey, you guys are doing cool stuff and I support you guys. And so I think we're, bits aside and everything, I think we're all always indebted to him for what he's lent to us as far as just support, professional credibility, and peace of mind a little bit too. Not to mention all the entertainment, like through the years. So yeah, like
it's really well
head
said.
off to Rory. Awesome stuff.
Like legitimately very, very, very. I don't know if there'll be another event in my lifetime where I'm this happy for a person. Max aside, maybe. That I'm actually like this happy for the actual person, because guy's been through a heck of a lot, and he deserves to have this level of stature in the game, and
it was a very human win.
Yeah, absolute thrill to cover. And shout out to Cody for, of course, running all the 1s and 2s for many, many, many live shows this week. Appreciate High Noon standing up these live shows, whether or not Rory McIlroy is winning the major or insert who that's not as good of a storyline that I don't feel like defending the drive-by on at this exact moment. So.
Solly, before you go to complete wrap, I do have one thing. DJ brought in, strapped announcement. We'll be on the lookout for the trailer this week. We'll talk about when that's actually going to publish later on. But the next major championship, if people are in a hanking for more major championship golf, the PGA Championship in Charlotte, Thursday, round 1 live show. We will be live. It's the first time ever the No Laying Up is taking the live show on the road to a studio audience. We're going to be at Platform Sports in Charlotte. Open to anybody, okay? I think the doors are going to open at 4. You can come by. We're going to be watching
in-person block party, a true in-person
block party. We're going to kick off the PGA Championship in style as we watch. Who knows? Rory might put the second leg of the Grand Slam together. Who knows? But we're going to be there live in person. If people are in the Carolinas or traveling in, make sure you put that on the agenda. We're very excited about it, and that's kind of the next big thing that we're reaching forward to on the live show side.
That's going to be awesome.
Can't wait.
That's going to be fantastic. Shout out, of course, to Titleist, as well as the Stack, Yeti, ServPro, the Nest, everybody. Shout out to everybody that tuned in all week.
Shout out to DJ's personal, like the physician, whoever he's seeing up in Milwaukee for nursing him back to life.
Who gave me no medicine and just said, come back in 2 weeks if you're still coughing.
Also, congratulations to your brother.
And your brother got married.
My brother, Tom and Brent. What a lovely ceremony. What a lovely day yesterday.
Panther Mike.
Everybody.
And all the people, of course, that tune into every single live show, listen to the podcast, leave such great reviews, and keep us going.
We're 2.5 hours into this thing. There's 14,000 people.
I'll play the music.
Tell a friend, and sincere thanks to everybody that came up and said hello on the grounds at Augusta. It seems like that happens there more than any other place, and is honestly just always a great refresher. I mean, the numbers are the numbers, but like to meet the people and to talk with you guys for a little bit is what makes it feel all that more real. So
can I close it out?
Please.
Whoever is meant to win will win, I believe.
Whoever is meant to win is meant to win. And that was Tara who gave us that cart ride.
Been thinking about it all week, my man.
She was spot on. She
True
couldn't
words
have been more right.
were never spoken.
She could not have been more right. So that's it. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We'll be back on Wednesday for happy hour. It might be just hungover hour. Block party continues. Crack on.
We rock.
I want it.